Emmitt Smith has that all-time record of Walter Payton's in his sights. He needs 93 yards to break it. What are your feelings, Darrell? Darrell Johnston, of course, working with me. He was the blocking back for so many of those yards for Emmitt. What are your thoughts? What do you feel?
This is a huge day for quite a few of us, Pat. Everybody that lined up in front of Emmitt Smith throughout their careers and doing this run towards breaking Walter Payton's record. I think I will be the voice of all the offensive linemen, the tight ends, and lead backs. We're very proud to be a part.
Well, let's go down to Pam Oliver now. She has Emmitt Smith.
Okay, thanks a lot, Pat. Emmitt, you're here at home, Texas Stadium, about to face the worst defense in the NFL. Do you feel in your gut that conditions are right for you to break this record?
I don't know. I mean, when you're playing against what you would perceive the worst defense, somehow or another, when you have something as special as what I'm chasing after, they have the tendency to step up and play their very best. So we absolutely got to go out here and do our best and hopefully see what happens at the end of 4 quarters.
Oh, by the way, there's a football game here today. Chad Hutchinson making the start. Can he help the Cowboys win?
I think so. He has no choice but to help us right now. So we're going to rally behind him and support him as much as we possibly can and let him do his thing.
All right, go get him. Thanks, Emmitt. Back up to you, Pat.
All right, thanks, Pam, and thanks, Emmitt. Billy Cundiff is going to kick off. The rookie has not been doing that duty. He's been field goals and extra points, but not kicking off. So his first kickoff, pressure on him too. Back deep, Maurice Morris for Seattle. Last week he brought one all the way back at the 4. Not this week. Lynn Scott. Trent Dilfer is the Seattle quarterback. Many years, frustrating years at Tampa. But now he leads Seattle. 50-43 record as a starter. The offensive line in front of him, Jones, Gray, Robbie Tobeck, Wedderburn, and Womack. Sean Alexander leads the ball carriers. Max Strong in front of him. Robinson, Jackson, and Mealy up front. On first down. Dilfer to throw. Pass complete. That should be enough for first. Let's look at the Dallas defense now. They've been, if there has been this year, sort of a steadying influence. The front 4, Ekuban, Noble, Glover, and Ellis. 3 linebackers, Marcus Steele in the middle, Coakley and Kevin Hardy. Secondary, Edwards and Hawthorne the corners, Williams and Woodson the safeties. Darren Woodson, by the way, is 2 tackles away. This is an audible by Dilfer. Audible is high and behind the intended target. Darrell Jackson. Woodson, I started to say, is 2 tackles away from breaking Leroy Jordan's all-time career tackle record.
We talked with Trent Dilfer, and he talked about the steadying influence that Darren Woodson has had in the secondary, and I think Roy Williams is going to be an incredible professional football player because he will have been able to have spent time and learned a lot of important lessons from Darren Woodson.
2nd and 10. Handoff Alexander. Brandon Noble and Leroy Glover seal up the middle. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Not a happy situation for any quarterback.
One of the situations that Seattle was very worried about coming into this game. You mentioned the audible earlier in this series, and that is Trent Dilfer's job. He has got to get this team into a better play. Right now, facing a 3rd and 8 here, the situations that Mike Holmgren worried about early in this football game.
Lynn Scott, part of the Cowboys secondary. Here's Dilfer back to throw. Has some time. Alexander. Flag on the play. They didn't get enough for the first anyway. They might not take this penalty as Roy Williams made the tackle. Probably will refuse this, don't you think?
Against the offense, number 77 is declined. 4th down.
called against Floyd Womack. Jeff Feagles back to punt. One of the best punters around for a long time. And back deep for the Cowboys, Reggie Swinton. Seattle downs it at about the 20, and that's where Emmitt Smith will get his first carry. And here comes the Dallas offensive unit. Texas Stadium. Chad Hutchinson is the Cowboy quarterback. 21 out of 36 in preseason. A touchdown and an interception. No regular season formal passes since 1997.
Yeah, you saw that graphic. That's the preseason. This is Chad's first snaps in a meaningful game in 5 years. It's going to be important for him to play well this afternoon if Emmitt's going to have a shot at this title.
But that was college. This is different. Emmitt. Chad Eaton made the stop, and let's look at the Dallas offensive lineup. Chad Hutchinson, his first NFL career start. In front of him, the offensive line. Adams, McKinney, DeRode, Page, and Collins. Emmitt Smith, of course, the running back. Thomas in front of him. Bryant, Galloway, and McGee, the receiver. That was Whalen in motion. That's Emmitt Smith. He inches closer. Marcus Robertson made his tackle. And that looked like Emmitt behind the Moose.
I tell you, Pat, he just raises his level of play in big games, and he is running with a purpose this afternoon. You can see he is downhill, straight ahead. It's just a different running style than we've seen so far this season.
That's so true. Emmitt's the deep back. And they pitch back to him. Not much there. Emmitt probably better than anybody else, Moose. Certainly among the top I've ever seen of making something happen when there was nothing there.
Yeah, probably the only guy that you could say is better at it than Emmitt is Barry Sanders. But the thing that these two guys can do is they can make a guy who's unblocked miss the tackle. And in the NFL, the talent level is so even that if you can't make a guy miss in the hole, you're not going to be in the NFL very long.
Second down, about 9. Hutchinson back to throw it. Guns it outside, a little low for Whalen. Here's the Seattle defense, the front four. Cochran, Randall, Eaton, and King. Chad Brown, Kasavinsky, and Bell, the linebackers. And the secondary, Lucas, Robertson, Tongue, and Sean Springs. They have two strong cornerbacks. 3rd and 9. Seattle showing blitz. Hutchinson. A strike to Antonio Bryant.
That is a well-called play and a well-executed play. They have a movement in the pocket away from the blitz. Here comes everybody to the left side. Chad Hutchinson is moving to the right. And here's what excites the coaches. He's got that big league NFL arm. Throws a strike to Antonio Bryant for the first down.
14-yard pickup. Antonio Bryant is going to be something special. He gets better by the week. Galloway is to the left, Bryant to the right this time. Hutchinson has to scramble. That play was out of sync from the beginning. John Randall brought it down. Probably, if you're not a baseball fan, you haven't heard about Chad Hutchinson, but here's his resume.
He has been out of the game of football for a while, but Dave Campbell compared him to David Carr or Joey Harrington, the first two quarterbacks taken this year. I think the big transition will be that feel in the pocket, and there you see a guy there who they desperately wanted to have out in the lineup, their best offensive lineman, Larry Allen.
He desperately wanted to be there. Here's Emmitt. To the 40. Chad Brown made the stop. He shook off about 3 tackles.
It's just vintage Emmitt Smith. There's nothing else you can say, and this is what Mike Holmgren was worried about, was him getting on a roll early in this football game. There he's Reggie Tongue. He's got him right in the hole, and that's that ability to make a guy miss that you talked about, Pat. If the guy is unblocked, that does not mean the play is over when 22 has the ball.
He needs 65 yards for the all-time record. 14-yard pickup that time. This is Hambrick, and he hammers down to the Seattle 35. Bernard and Randall converge to stop.
I think the impressive thing that this Cowboys offense with their running game has done, the fact that this is their 7th different starting offensive line group this season, to be able to have the continuity and to have that feel that you need to develop between each player. They've done a very, very good job with a lot of changes in that lineup.
You think about that. Tyson Walter, by the way, is in at center. He's played 3 quarters there. That's all. Plus training camp. Hutchinson looks. Lofts. Almost picked off. Springs back. Galloway was behind him, but Chad Hutchinson a little bit underthrown.
Well, that is the thing that Chad Hutchinson is going to have to get used to in the NFL, the makeup speed of the defensive backs in the NFL. And the reason that he has been named the starter this week was because they felt Quincy Carter struggled with the decision making in this offense. Chad Hutchinson very lucky to get away with a poor decision right there.
Yes, he is. This is the 10th play of this drive, 3rd and 5. Hutchinson back to throw it. Out of the pocket, retreats. Incomplete, threw it away. And we have a new punter. This is Philip Filipovich. I hope I'm right, and I think I am.
Sounded perfect to me.
Just brought in last week for Micah Noor after Noor botched a hold last week, and his punting was not that much better. Trying to pooch it down into the end zone. Bobby Ingram down on the coverage. Emmitt had 28 yards in that first drive. Of course, who had so many spectacular years here as a Cowboy. Talking with Calvin Hill, who before Darryl Johnston and Michael Irvin was just about all the Cowboys offense. Now works for the Cowboy organization. 1st and 10, Seattle. Dilfer quickly up the middle. Bobby Ingram, the ex-Bear.
We're probably going to see this conservative game plan from the Seattle Seahawks. Some short passes, a running game trying to be established because they don't want to give Dallas the opportunity to have a sack, fumble, or an interception and get a short field. They feel that if this defense does not have a big play, that the offense can't win the football game.
Woodson just made that. This is Alexander, who chooses to take it outside, stopped by Tony Dixon. Woodson is 1 tackle away from the all-time Cowboy tackle record. He has tied Leroy Jordan in that capacity.
Can't say enough about Darren Woodson. He has been the one consistent throughout this entire run by the Dallas Cowboys. When they've had their down years, Darren Woodson has always been that big-name star that helped that defense stay alive.
Some other pretty good names on that list also. Here's Alexander spinning away from the defenders and brought down by Roy Williams. Sean Alexander's had some spectacular days. Roy Williams, the #1 draft choice of the Cowboys, is starting to have more spectacular days.
I think he is going to be a future All-Pro right now. He's got the ability to learn from Darren Woodson, and he's got tremendous athletic ability. And you're seeing him starting to get a lot of the responsibility that Darren Woodson had in years before.
3rd and 2. Going to be 3rd and longer. Floyd Womack was a little early.
Offense, number 77.
Mike
5 yards
Carey.
remains, 3rd down.
Mike Carey's the referee, by the way.
One of the things you can't do as a struggling football team is have penalties that put yourselves in bad positions. It is so difficult to win nowadays because of parity and how even the league is, that if you're having penalties and turnovers and beating yourself, you find yourself at 1-5 like the Seahawks are right now.
4 wide receivers for the Seahawks. Dilfer back to throw. Has time. Gets it up, it appears, to Bobby Ingram for a 1st down. Stopped by Coakley. I don't know about you, Darryl, but Seattle's record is 1-5, and Dallas is a losing record as well. But this has the feeling of a really big game, doesn't it?
Well, with everything that's going on with Emmitt's pursuit of the record and Darren Woodson's, and then we're going to get to a milestone that you're achieving this afternoon later today. Yeah, I think all the pieces are in place for a pretty big game today.
1st and 10 Seattle. Dilfer back to throw again. Alexander. Coakley made sure he stayed down. He was hit by Roy Williams first.
Well, he is getting time in the pocket, and one of the reasons that he's able to do that is they're doubling down. Ebenezer Ekubon has got to be the guy that has a big day to draw some more attention. Right there, Floyd Womack does a nice job of just stoning him shortly upfield. When he doesn't have a good game, that allows him to double Leroy Glover and Greg Ellis, their 2 big pass rushers.
And you ought to be able to handle a single once in a while. 2nd and 9. Dilfer changing plays again. He likes to do this. Back to throw is Trent Dilfer. Incomplete. Sean Alexander the target, but Dilfer didn't have it.
Trent Dilfer has been known as the quarterback who doesn't make the mistakes and relies on a great defense and the other people around him to win football games. But this year, Mike Holmgren has kind of loosened the reins on that. He's allowing Trent to get into audible systems and call plays to get that offense in the best play possible at the line of scrimmage, but more importantly, to avoid the plays that he felt had no chance of success.
Again, 4 wide receivers for the Seahawks. No blitz from Dallas. Dilfer throws high and hard. Corin Robinson was the intended receiver. Dwan Hawthorne was the closest.
Corin Robinson had a huge game last week, and this is one of the big concerns this defense had, was his ability to not only make the catch, but the explosive speed to turn that into a big play.
Spiegels to punt. Swinton deep. Good kick. It just dies at the 2. That's the way you'd like to do it. Willie Williams was down to down it. In the last regular season game of 1991, Emmitt Smith rushed for 160 yards against the Falcons, and in doing so surpassed Barry Sanders en route to becoming the first ever Cowboy to win the NFL rushing title. Run, Daddy, run. And so far, Emmitt has done just that. This time he'll have to do it out of his end zone. Got him out of the shadow. Marcus Robertson made the stop.
not only that first rushing title, Pat, but also the second one. To me, some very special times. That's when I think you saw how much everybody that was in front of Emmitt blocking for him realized what a special guy he was. 146 yards needed to win it. That first year, 109 the following year. It was great to have the opportunity. We were all excited for him.
I bet a lot of those runs you didn't see.
I had to wait till Monday afternoons in film session to see why the crowd was cheering so loud.
He has 3 runs of over 10 yards today already. He's down to 52 he needs to break that record, that standard set by Walter Payton, which I think at one time people thought would never be broken.
Now, to me, it was one of those records that because of the length of your career, you just would never see that happen again.
Draw play, Emmitt. Sean Springs made the stop. There they are, blocking for the best, and the best blocker in front. 115 games together.
Some great times, and I'll admit right now, I didn't get my guy all the time, and that's why I probably appreciate his ability to make somebody miss more than anybody else that's out there.
Well, nobody did it like you did. Troy Hambrick is the deep back, and Hambrick gets up close to the 20. The Cowboys are going to have to punt. Reggie Tung made the stop.
This is a Seattle Seahawks defense that knows everybody feels that this record is going to be broken today because how they performed against the run, but they do not want to be the team that is responsible for allowing that record.
Mike Holmgren was very emphatic about that yesterday. I don't want anybody setting records against me. Filipovich back to punt, and they're coming after him, and they got close and didn't knock him down. There's a flag downfield.
Well, Phillips going to have to learn it in the NFL. If anybody even bumps you, you go down to the ground.
Oh yeah, you got to be a better actor than that.
This is at least got to be running into the kicker. He's not blocked into him. I mean, he actually avoided Alex Bannister. You watch Filipovich make the kick and then move to the side. You know, that really is kind of a no call.
There's no foul for interference with the opportunity to make a kick. The defender was blocked into him. First down.
They dropped the flag down at the end of the coverage. One of the Cowboy cover men ran into a Seattle player. They dropped the flag, but they picked it up. Back at Texas Stadium, Pat Summerall with Darryl Johnston. 0-0. Dilfer back to throw. Gets it outside to Alexander. Woodson involved with that tackle. He may have the record. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Okay, Pat, had a chance to talk with offensive guard Larry Allen, who's been with Emmitt for 9 of his 13 seasons. Larry Allen, a man of few words, told me he feels that Emmitt could very well break that record. What, he needs just 51 yards right now. He said, what about that makeshift offense? What about that makeshift offensive line? He says that's been no problem. They had a good week, and everybody's optimistic Emmitt can do it. Back to you.
That's a lot, Pam, for Larry Allen to say. Picked off. Derek Ross makes the interception. And the Cowboys will take over at their own 45. Bobby Ingram brought Ross down. 1 minute, 2 seconds left in the first quarter. No score yet. And the Cowboys just get a turnover.
Derek Ross with the interception, but that was all Roy Williams. He'll come up here. Trent Dilfer thinks that part of the field is open, but here comes Tony Dixon over the top. He tries to fit a ball. Derek Ross playing a little trail technique, intercepts that pass. Bad decision by Trent Dilfer.
Derek Ross can make some things happen. He talks a lot, too. First interception in the last 10 quarters. Emmitt around the corner and out of bounds at about the midfield. Orlando Huff took him out. Emmitt, by the way, is changing jerseys at the end of each quarter, just to eliminate any confusion about where the jerseys are going. He's going to keep one for himself. One goes to the Hall of Fame. One goes to Jerry Jones, the owner, and the other goes to his favorite charity, the Open Doors Foundation. Here's Emmitt Smith. Big hole. Big hole. First down, Dallas, and Emmitt gets to the 40. Stopped by Marcus Robertson.
Again, we're seeing the Dallas Cowboys running right away from the blitz. You'll see the pressure come in from this side of the field, but they're running over to the right. That's the second call so far this game where Bruce Coslett is one step ahead, the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, of defensive coordinator Steve Sidwell. He is knowing where the blitz is coming from, making that play call, and getting away from it.
He needs 38 yards now. That's the end of the first quarter with the score Dallas nothing, Seattle nothing. Fox NFL Sunday from Dallas will continue after these messages.
This fall, everything's turning red with Honda's fall values. Check out this deal on some of our ATVs and dirt bikes.
As Emmitt Smith inches ever closer. Fumble. I think the Cowboys might have scrambled around. It's Seattle that got it back. Seattle recovered the fumble by Emmitt Smith. Marcus Robertson came up with the ball. Been a frustrating time in recent weeks for Dave Campo. Emmitt has not fumbled in 276 touches before that one.
You know, Pat, we were in our production meeting last night when that graphic came up.
Yeah.
I thought that was some bad mojo.
Yeah, anytime you start talking about it, that's the worst thing that can happen. Alexander gets the carry, and he looks, but can't find any place to go. Pepe Zellner tripped him up. Along with Leroy Glover.
Leroy Glover was the guy who made that play happen. He was right through the middle of that offensive line very quickly. Go back and take a look at the fumble by Emmitt Smith. Just as he makes a spin, he gets a hand on the football.
Second and long for Seattle. Whoa. Juan Hawthorne had that one in his sight, and he was gone if he did.
That's so important for a cornerback to be able to trust his instincts and everything he has seen on film this week. This is the play that Corin Robinson had his big plays last week. Look at the jump that Wayne Hawthorne got on that ball. He should have intercepted this for 6 points. You got to make that play when you're a struggling football team like Dallas is right now.
3rd and 10. Dilfer to throw. Pressure. Dumps it out to Alexander, who may get enough and didn't get enough for a first down. Scrambling. Dilfer might have sprained his ankle or hurt his knee, one of the two. Matt Hasselbeck is the Seattle backup quarterback.
Well, this is not a good sign. They're pulling the players off to the sideline, so it looks like he did that before he even threw the ball. It looks as though he did it when he planted.
Ankle. It's his ankle.
He knew right there.
Yeah. At least if he's pointing to the right place, it's his ankle. Maybe Achilles. I've seen it happen like that.
You know, you talk to the guys who've had that Achilles tendon injury, and they're running out in the free, and they think that somebody has kicked them in the back of the legs. And I think you're right, Pat. I think that that's going to be an Achilles tendon injury.
Nobody hit him. I remember hearing Sonny Jurgensen, that happened to him when he tore his Achilles, and it sounded like somebody shot a rifle.
I think you could see it right on that last highlight. You'll see as Trent Dilfer goes back to plant. Right there, you see how stretched out that leg got, that right leg got. I think he popped it, and now he's just playing on all guts and will right there.
He started to realize. Jeff Eagles in to punt it to Reggie Swinton. And we'll find out about Dilfer as soon as we can.
Let him go, let him.
Swinton signals fair catch and makes it at about the 16-yard line. 0-0 at Texas Stadium. He's in obvious pain, elevating his right leg. I think it has to be. And certainly I'm not a physician of any kind, but certainly that has to be an Achilles. Hutchinson, the rush gets him. John Randall right now for a game break. Let's go to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, the Lions have lost 11 straight on the road right now. Travis Henry's touchdown has made it 7-0 Buffalo. That game in the second quarter. Deuce McAllister capping a 9-play, 65-yard with a 1-yard run to make it 10-0 Saints. That in the second as well. Back to Pat, Darrell, and Pam.
13:20 left in the second quarter. It is a torn Achilles tendon for Trent Dilfer. Here's Emmitt out past the 10 to the 11. Kasavinsky made the stop. There's Walter Payton's mother on his left and his brother Eddie on the right. He needs 31 yards now. Darrell Johnston has gone down to the sideline to be there when he does break the record, and he'll be talking with Emmitt, I assume. Michael Wiley is into the backfield now for the Cowboys as Chad Hutchinson drops the throw and throws low, intended for Joey Galloway. Hutchinson's debut has not been auspicious, but Emmitt Smith's has. Flag on the play.
Illegal formation. Offense number 76 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That often happens when the offensive tackles don't get up on the ball as far as they're supposed to be. And so Filipovich will kick to Bobby Ingram, standing back at midfield. Filipovich in his own end zone. Pretty good kick. Ingram at midfield. The Seahawks will take over there with a new quarterback. Troy Hembrick was down to make the stop. No score at Texas Stadium. Our colleague Darrell Johnston is down on the sideline.
Pat, now I know why we're up in the booth to call these games. I can't see anything down here.
You got room in that suit for some shoulder pads? You might rush out there.
If he gets close, I'm going on the field.
Yeah. Hasselbeck is the new quarterback. Bobby Ingram made the reception. Hasselbeck, of course, with Mike Holmgren in Green Bay. When he went to Seattle, Hasselbeck went with him.
And that is the ingredient that the Seahawks are looking for right now. I think Mike Holmgren has finally realized how important Brett Favre was to his success in Green Bay.
Yeah. That screen pass to Alexander, who's looking for some place to go, but he'll have to look somewhere else. At the 45, flag on the play. Roy Williams made the tackle. Mike Holmgren had such an illustrious career in Green Bay after he had been such a successful assistant with several teams in the NFL.
He's always been one of my favorite coaches, and we had a nice rivalry with Green Bay during our run, and
he did.
The utmost respect for Mike Holmgren.
He probably didn't think it was so nice
There
because
was
you
no
always
foul
beat
from
him.
illegal block in the back. The blocker did not lose contact. Third down.
Mike Carey is the referee again, and Dave Campbell would like to know what it is, what's going on.
You don't see many head coaches that like when the officials meet for a long time and then come out and give their explanation. This is what normally happens. They've got to go back over and explain it in person to the head coach.
Looks satisfied. 3rd and 5. Hasselbeck, here comes a Dallas blitz, and down he goes. Leroy Glover. They had to single Leroy Glover, and that's not a good idea.
No, but when you've got your safety and your linebacker, there's Dexter Coakley first, but watch, here comes Roy Williams too. That means guys have to come off Leroy Glover, and that's the situation they're trying to get to. They've got to find a way to get Leroy Glover in more one-on-one situations.
Jeff Fiegels back to punt to Reggie Swinton. Swinton at the 12-yard line. Fiegels has been busy. Another good high kick that probably won't be returned, out of bounds. Marking at the 14, and that's where the Cowboys and Emmitt Smith will start. Emmitt Smith needs 31 yards to break Walter Payton's all-time rushing record. Let's go to Pam Oliver right now.
Okay, I'm here with Walter Payton's family members, his big brother Eddie and his mother, Mrs. Eileen Payton. And Eddie, let me ask you this. What are some of your feelings now as Emmitt gets closer and closer to breaking your brother's record?
Well, I guess we're about as excited as Emmitt is. I mean, it's a historic occasion. He's worked really hard. He's a great ambassador of what the game should be. And, you know, I wish he'd hurry up and do it so he can get on with establishing a record that will motivate others.
Lost a couple on that play, but Mrs. Payton, I have to ask you, is this sort of a bittersweet moment for you in some ways? It's your son's record that Emmitt will probably break in this ball game, but at the same time, so many people remember Walter so fondly.
No, I wouldn't say bittersweet because records made to be broken, and we knew it would be broken one day, and I'm just glad Emmitt's the one to do it.
We appreciate your time and enjoy the ball game. Thanks to you both.
Very well.
Thanks, Pam. It just got tougher. Emmitt lost 4. Hutchinson throws to the 20. Pass is caught. Joey Galloway made the reception out to the 20. That's not enough for a first down.
We get back to the other intriguing story of this football game, Chad Hutchinson's debut, and he continues to impress. You can see why offensive coordinator Bruce Coslett is very excited in his ability as a quarterback. He's got the strong arm, and I think he's done a nice job in the pocket. That's the area that I thought he might struggle, losing that sense of the pressure surrounding him, but he's done a nice job up until this point.
3rd and 4. Javier Collins a little early. This, they're saying now, might be against the Seahawks. Mike Carey.
Neutral zone infraction. And the defense, number 97, jumps into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction by the left tackle. 5-yard penalty. The measurement results in a first down.
That's on Brandon Mitchell. You see him flinch at the right tackle position. That's what caused the movement by the offensive line. Flozo Adams reacts to that. You can't do that as a defensive player. That would be called on you.
How's Brandon Mitchell? You're right. Emmitt Smith needs 35 yards now to break the record. He lost 4 on that carry a moment ago. He's further away.
Well, one of the reasons that Emmitt Smith has got the chance to see his family right there They're also very excited. But what we were having earlier in the football game was the concern of the Seahawks defense. Guys were getting blocked. They were missing tackles, but they have gotten those points corrected to this point. Pat, I might have to come back up to the booth because I've been a bad luck charm down here.
Yeah, well, you're welcome anytime.
Good job.
He lost 3 yards on that last carry. Hutchinson throws it away. Whalen was the closest receiver, pressured by Rocky Bernard.
This is what they feel that Chad Hutchinson gives them, along with his ability as a quarterback, is the decision making. Right here, there's nobody open. They're deep in their end. The one thing that they cannot do is have a turnover to give Seattle a short field. Rocky Bernard on the pressure. He has nobody open. He throws the ball out of bounds.
And way out of bounds, as it should be. Emmitt Smith is out. Here comes the Seattle blitz. Catch made by Kenyon Rambo. Not enough for a first down. Shorten behind him, but he still made the catch. And here comes the Dallas punting team again. Filipovich just brought back last week. He was with the team in training camp.
All yours.
And it was nip and tuck between him and Micah Noah. Noah, because he was a better holder, stayed around. Now Filipovich is back.
Let go.
Good kick. Ingram back deep. Coverage is good. 0-0 with 7:49 left in the first half of Halloween night in Philadelphia in 1993. Emmitt Smith terrorized the Eagles with 237 yards on the ground, including this 62-yard touchdown.
Well, the conditions that afternoon not conducive to throwing the football. The Philadelphia Eagles defense knew what we were going to do, but they couldn't stop them that day.
And that long run, you made the key block, right?
Absolutely.
Matt Hasselbeck is the quarterback for Seattle. Across the field, complete. Max Strong made the reception. The fullback sneaked through the line, came out of the backfield.
Well, Matt Hasselbeck was brought in from Green Bay by head coach Mike Holmgren to be the future for the Seattle Seahawks, and he has not been able to live up to those expectations as of yet. Trent Dilfer, the veteran brought in last year to allow Matt Hasselbeck to gradually gain knowledge of the system, but this is an opportunity. That's going to be a season-ending injury for Trent.
Alexander, maybe a yard. Matt Hasselbeck played collegiately at Boston College. Then, as you mentioned, Darryl, for so many years, he was the backup quarterback to Brett Favre in Green Bay. A lot of people thought he had just as much ability as Favre.
Every time he came on the football field in the preseason, because Brett never misses a regular season game,
right,
he played very, very well. So he just hasn't had that potential since he's become the starter in Seattle.
He'll get the rest of the action today. Dilfer is. The pass is caught on the outside by Robinson. We had that big game last week. Blond Hawthorne was with him, but the pass was behind enough so he could make the adjustment.
And this guy has got such big play potential, and that's such a hard pass to defend. Dwayne Hawthorne is actually in good position. It's kind of what they call a stop fade. You throw it on the back shoulder of the receiver as he's going up the field. Defender has his back turned to the receiver. He doesn't know that it's underthrown.
First down, Seattle. Dressed in their new colors. Here's Alexander. Good tackle. Solid tackle by Mario Edwards.
It's a very nice tackle. You expect that to be a number 28 or a number 31 getting up, but that's Mario Edwards, the cornerback, putting a big hit on Sean Alexander.
What did they say this Seattle uniform color is? Sea Hunt blue?
Well, I heard the officials say the penalty was on blue at one point during the game down here on the field, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm closer, Pat, but I still can't tell if it's blue or green.
Okay. Alexander again. Straight ahead. Kevin Hardy and John Nix, who's been getting more and more playing time, made the stop. Nix leaves now on 3rd down.
Sean Alexander, he's probably one of these running backs that grew up watching what Emmitt Smith did through his early parts of his career. A very, very talented football runner. Had a huge game a few weeks ago. I think that he just needs to be a little bit more consistent. This offense needs to be able to lean on him as their go-to guy.
It's 3rd and 3. Hasselbeck back to throw, has a man, and gets the ball to him. Darrell Jackson made the reception, and that'll be a 1st down, Seattle at the Dallas 26.
Darren Woodson, one of his concerns coming into this game was the ability to get this offense off the field. They've converted a couple of 3rd downs now, extending this drive. But one thing he didn't want to do was to let Seattle run time off the clock. He really feels that he needs to get the ball back to his offense as quickly as possible.
John Nix back in the front 4 for Dallas. Hasselbeck. That's Maurice Morris, who got the carry. Not much doing.
The Dallas defense is not worried about losing the game on the ground to the Seattle Seahawks. Their main concern is that passing game with Corin Robinson. So they're very confident in their run defense, and they have been very good at stopping the run over the last few years. They had that terrible season a few years ago, but they seem to have got all those corrected.
4 wide receivers set up. A lot of room for Morris. Around the corner, knocked out of bounds inside the 5 at about the 2. But a flag on the play.
Well, so much for the ability to stop the run. Seattle comes out, spreads the formation, just runs a simple draw play for a big game.
Holding. Offense. Number 81. 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Corin Robinson.
As a wide receiver, downfield, you can create big runs with your blocking ability, but you also have to realize when not to hold. And you see right there, the arm is outside on Mario Edwards. He's just he's working hard, trying to give his back an opportunity, but he's got to be a little bit smart. He's got to get those hands inside. He can't let them come out of the framework of that defender.
So that makes it 2nd and 9 back at the 25-yard line. Maurice Morris is still the deep back, and the handoff is to him. And he breaks a couple of tackles. Lynn Scott finally made sure he stayed down. Hasselbeck has done a good job since he replaced Trent Dilfer.
I'm always impressed when the quarterback comes off the bench and performs well, because he never gets enough reps during the week of practice. Those have to go to the starter. So if you're a guy who can't take mental reps, it's going to be very difficult for you to be prepared in these types of situations. You see the start that Matt Hasselbeck is off to.
3rd and 4. Morris is going to be close to a 1st. Very close. Like he might have it. They're going to measure. He has it. Never mind the measure. They did get the 1st down. And we get the 2-minute warning. We'll be back. There's no score as yet. It is 1st down, Seattle Seahawks at about the Dallas 16-yard line. And this is the closest anybody has been. Score 0-0. This has been an impressive drive by the Seahawks, led by the new quarterback Hasselbeck. Alexander to the 5, and that'll be another Seahawk 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal from that point. Tony Dixon made the stop.
Now it's Seattle's turn to make a good offensive call. You'll see the blitz coming in from the left side. They run off to the right with Sean Alexander. A nice block there on Brandon Noble to open that hole by Chris Gray.
First and goal at the 5. Not much there. Max Strong gets the carry. He doesn't carry it much. All season long, the Cowboys have only given up 1 rushing touchdown. They're going to be tested here.
The success that they have had running the football to this point, I think that they're probably going to get a heavy dose. A play-action pass in this situation last week against St. Louis was the reason that they fell short to the Rams.
Hasselbeck chased out of bounds. Marcus Steele. I thought the deep back was in motion.
I agree, Pat. I don't know why they didn't call a legal procedure on the tailback. He was moving towards the line of scrimmage.
He certainly was.
You watch the top of the back. That is definitely a legal procedure. He is not breaking off to go in motion. He is moving downhill towards the line of scrimmage.
You're exactly right. 3rd and goal. And the clock is running. Alexander. And he's in the end zone. With 12 seconds left in the first half, Seattle scores. 2-yard run by Alexander.
Very confident that they're going to have the opportunity to score. They let that clock run all the way down to 12 seconds, not wanting to leave the Cowboys any time to try and match their points, but they made that one look very, very easy right there.
Ron Lindell to try the extra point with Hasselbeck holding. Seconds left. This is good. It's 7-0. That's just 2 touchdowns. Lindell kicks off a bouncer. Fielded by one of the up men, like Brandon Noble. Coming up in just about 6 seconds to halftime, the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league, plus our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. All coming up on the Visa halftime report. Sean Alexander, who put the Seahawks on the scoreboard with a 2-yard touchdown run. 6 seconds the Cowboys have. And we'll maybe see how strong an arm Hutchinson's got. As they'll probably run some sort of Hail Mary.
Yeah, there's really nothing to lose right here, but we've seen teams in the past get into a situation where they've really put their teams behind the 8 ball with a foolish call at the end of the half.
Yes, we have.
They've got those 3 wide receivers split out to the right, so it looks like they're going to take a shot at it.
If they have time. Hutchinson will have time. He does have an arm. And the pass was in and out of the hands of Reggie Swinton and Kenyon Rambo, both in the area. That could have been caught. That could have been caught. It was Rambo. And Hutchinson dropped it right in there.
This is unbelievable by Reggie Tongue to allow Kenyon Rambo to get into that position. You never play that type of coverage in that situation. You have your defenders back in the end zone guarding the end line. They're running just a basic man-on-man coverage scheme. Boy, the Dallas Cowboys just blew a huge opportunity right there.
That's the end of the first half with the score Seattle 7, Dallas nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, and the Visa halftime report after these messages. Ever since Darrell Johnston went from next to me down to the field, Emmitt Smith's had a tough time.
You got to get my seat back up there, Pat. If I stay down here, we're not going to get this done this afternoon.
What's the mood on the sideline? You're close to the Cowboy bench.
You know, they were pretty somber coming out onto the field. I think they realized that they missed a big opportunity at the end of the first half with that play. So, yeah, they definitely let one get away right there. You watch the play right here. Willie Williams is in coverage, number 27. He's trailing Kenyon Rambo, but I don't know what kind of defense this is. Reggie Tongue gets beat over the top. Kenyon Rambo has to make that catch. That is a huge, huge emotional lift going into the locker room. Chad Hutchinson thinks he's got it. Mike Holmgren is angry, and rightfully so, that he just dodged a big bullet going in at halftime.
Here are the halftime numbers. Seahawks 54 yards on the ground. Emmitt Smith has most of those 63 for Dallas. Total yards, significant edge. That one long drive that the Seahawks had to get them down for their one touchdown by Sean Alexander. Ryan Lindell's set to kick off. Start the second half. Emmitt Smith still in quest of that record. Reggie Swinton fields it at the 8, and he might have a little alley. Swinton outside the 40, almost broke it. Tripped up by Willie Williams. He almost had it going.
Well, the one thing about Reggie Swinton, watch, he's just going full speed. He is not juking, he's not cutting. He just hit that hole at full speed. This is why he took one back earlier this year against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's all about speed and getting to your blocks at the correct time.
And Darrell, that's the secret to running back kickoffs. Emmitt Smith back in the game. He is deep. He needs 38 yards to become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Hutchinson has deflected. Let's go down to Pam Oliver now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Pat. I talked to both coaches at halftime. First, Dave Campo, who complained about the team's poor tackling and poor blocking. I said, is it all about pumping that ball to Emmitt Smith in the second half? He said, no, it's all about running the ball in the second half. As for the Seahawks, Mike Holmgren said the game is unfolding pretty much the way he thought it would be. The challenge will be holding on to the lead in the second half, which is something they haven't been doing very well. Pat?
All right, Pam, thank you. 2nd and 10. Hutchinson outside Galloway. Galloway out of bounds in front of the Seahawks bench by Sean Springs.
They've had a very difficult second half, but in general, more importantly, the third quarter, you see right there, outscored 37-7. So that long kickoff return, that's one of the things that has happened to the Seattle Seahawks, and they do not know why. They don't feel like they're coming out emotionally flat. They don't feel like they're fatigued. They just come out and play poor football in the second half.
3rd and 5. Smith is out. Hambrick is in. Seahawks showing blitz. Then they don't come. Intended for Michael Wiley. Swinging out of the backfield. Doug Evans on the coverage.
We saw the stats at halftime. The Dallas Cowboys with only 17 yards passing, and you can sense the frustration from Dave Campo right there. They have had opportunities to get the football to people who are open, but Chad Hutchinson just not hitting like he was early in the football game.
A shaky start for Chad, but that's to be expected. Not Filipovic's best punt. Fair catch at about the 27-yard line by Bobby Ingram, and that's where the Seahawks will start from. First and 10 at the 27 for Seattle. Handoff is to Alexander, who is around the corner and near first down yardage. Darren Woodson herded him out of bounds. The quarterback comparison for the Seahawks, Dilfer 7 of 12, 46 yards, 1 interception. Hasselbeck, pretty impressive, huh? 5 for 5, 35 yards. Excuse me, Darryl.
Absolutely, Pat. He's done a very nice job coming in, and I can't tell you, it's so difficult as the backup not getting the snaps during the week. Very impressed with his composure and his knowledge of the game plan.
2nd and 2. Leroy Glover on the stop.
I tell you, Roy Williams is a player to watch for the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the things that I've seen from him on film is when he tackles and when he comes into the pile, he is never moving backwards at the point of attack. Watch him. He'll be the late guy coming in there, number 31. he never gets knocked back. You'll see him in the open field make tackles where he hits the guy, takes him to the ground, and literally steps right across him. It's amazing to me. This guy is going to be something special when he gets older. You watch him dropping down on the right side of your screen right there, coming in to fill in, and just knocks Sean Alexander straight back. Now, he's got a little bit of help with Leroy Glover down there at the bottom, but this guy is very, very impressive, and I think he's been everything the Cowboys expected him to be when they took him with their first pick.
And he's also big. He weighs about 225, 228.
Well, they kidded him during the week when we were out there. They said that he had to watch it or he was going to eat his way into the linebacker position.
Yeah. First and 10, Seattle. Matt Hasselbeck, the quarterback. Cowboys fake a blitz. Maybe he changed, maybe he didn't. Back to throw. And throwing incomplete. Warren Robinson, the intended receiver, and back with him, Mario Edwards. Good coverage.
Nice job by Mario Edwards of getting his hands up, watching the eyes of Warren Robinson. He gets a bump here. Now he's trailing him. When he knows that Warren's going for the ball, he gets that hand up there without doing anything that would cause the officials to throw a pass interference flag.
That's good play. Second and 10. Ball's at the Seattle 37. Hasselbeck rips it up the middle. It's picked off by Juan Hawthorne. And Hawthorne still at his feet. And now taken down by Max Strong. But the Cowboys will start in Seattle territory. The Seahawks leading 7-0 with 12:50 to go in the third quarter. But Dallas ball. The pass was high and deflected by the receiver, Darrell Jackson, into the hand.
And Dwayne Hawthorne in good position for that deflection right there. And this is the one event that the Seattle Seahawks had to guard against. They wanted the Dallas Cowboys to have to drive the field. They didn't want to give them short fields with a turnover. They've done a good job up until this point, but right now they're in a position that they wanted to stay out of.
20-yard return. Emmitt Smith is the deep back. Hutchinson fell down and is taken further down. Lamar King slung him to the ground, greeted by a chorus of boos.
Well, right there is a situation of what happens when you've got different offensive linemen and different quarterbacks in. He's actually stepped on by the guard as he goes to do his reach block. Andrew Garrard steps on the foot of Chad Hutchinson, and he can't get back to give the Emmitt the ball, and then he's left to his own devices to try and make a play.
Is that the quarterback's fault, Darrell, or the lineman's fault?
I think it's just the lack of continuity of being able to work together because there has been so much change in the offensive line and now the quarterback also.
Hutchinson back to throw, screen pass to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, the ball comes loose. Galloway dropped on it. Emmitt, who hadn't fumbled in so long, lost one in the first half. Marcus Robertson.
He's got the ball put away very nicely. Antonio Cochran chasing the play from behind. You see right there, he just reaches around for the tackle and punches that ball loose. Nice hustle by Joey Galloway to be in position to recover that football. And you wonder if sometimes somebody's pressing so hard that fumbles and mistakes start to happen.
Third down, long yardage. Hutchinson to throw. And close to first down yardage is Darnay Scott. He made the catch and turned it upfield. Got to the 35. Looks like a couple of yards shy.
Well, right now, you're in a position where it's a 52-yard field goal attempt. They're going to get the ball on the 42. If you miss, they're going to elect to go for it right here. Almost 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. I think you play field position. Ask your new punter, Philip Filipovich, to put that ball down inside the 10-yard line.
The Cowboys don't agree. They're going for it. Smith to the deep back. Fake to Emmitt Smith. Hutchinson going deep to Galloway. Knocked away at the last second by Sean Springs. The ball was there, but perhaps a little bit late.
A little bit late, and it allows Sean Springs the opportunity to get back in and make a play. Actually, a very nice play call by the Cowboys, going for everything in a 4th down situation.
He had time to recover. You're exactly right.
It's coming across on the shallow route. Everybody moves up. Chad Hutchinson has Joey Galloway wide open. He's got to throw that ball farther across the field and allow Joey Galloway to run underneath it.
Springs had time to recover. 2nd down. Cowboys showing blitz again, and here they come. Seahawks picked it up. Max Strong makes the reception for about no yards. Pepe Zellner chased him out of bounds.
Pepe Zellner, a very, very athletic defensive lineman. He's really gotten big. He's put on about 30 pounds, but he still has that speed. You see right there the ability to move down the line of scrimmage and make a play out on the sideline against a running back.
3rd and 9 for Seattle. Trent Dilfer went out with a ruptured Achilles tendon in the first half, and Matt Hasselbeck replaced him, and he's done a very credible job. Hasselbeck back, steps in the pocket. Pass is caught for a Seattle 1st down. Between 3 Dallas defenders, Bobby Ingram makes the grab.
There's a guy with a lot of confidence in his ability as a quarterback, because Bobby Ingram is covered very well. He's got safeties and linebackers all around him. There is not a lot of room to fit that ball in. Matt Hasselbeck zips it right between 3 defenders.
A la Brett Favre. Darren Woodson, who earlier today broke Leroy Jordan's record for number of tackles for the Cowboy team. Hasselbeck to Alexander. Very rarely you get away with dancing in your own backfield.
Yeah, if your feet come to a stop in the NFL, there's a good chance you're not going to have a gain on that play. And that's what happened to Sean Alexander. Everything got stacked up. He got too far up into the blocking scheme and had nowhere to go.
Speaking of dancers, they're not all for no yards. 2nd and 10. 1 back, 4 wideouts. And it looks like an audible by Hasselbeck. Pump fake, and Hasselbeck's going to take off. Pepe Zellner chased him down.
Again, Pepe Zellner showing his athletic ability, able to run Matt Hasselbeck down from behind. He's going to come from the top of your screen, be out wide to the top. Number 93 right there. Now watch him get back and retrace and chase Matt Hasselbeck downfield. Nice hustle by Pepe Zellner.
In the event you don't know, Darryl Johnson started the game in the booth with me, and then when Emmitt Smith got closer and closer to the record, he went down to the sideline to be there for that occasion, and he's doing what he's doing now from down on the field. Flag, penalty markers, and flag. So I credit you with doing a heck of a job there.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty is still 3rd down.
Unfortunately, I think that that I have been some bad luck down here, Pat.
For Emmitt.
Yeah, things have not gone well. We thought we were getting close, and Emmitt was on a roll, but since I've got down here, the Seattle defense has played much better, and I tell you, probably the biggest part is the Seattle offense has played a lot better. They are taking time off the clock, converting 1st downs, and keeping Emmitt Smith and that offense off the field.
So it's 3rd and 9. 4 wide receiver setup again. Dallas, of course, with extra defensive backs all over the place. Now they show blitz. And the blitz got there. They had the 1 gap overloaded, and too many of them came through. Darren Woodson is the guy who got there. And now there's a flag on the play. Somebody might have made contact with the official.
Well, on top of that, that would be an ejection from the football game, too.
Yep.
The players know about that rule, and there is no gray area in there whatsoever. You make contact with the official, and you are gone.
I think it was Ebenezer Ekebon. Dave Campo pleading his case.
You see the blitz coming on the left side of your screen. Sean Alexander comes up. You cannot throw at a guy that way for a block.
By the quarterback in the vicinity of an eligible receiver. However, it hit an ineligible on the leg, number 62. That's illegal touching. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
A variation of the old tuck rule from the New England-Oakland playoff game last year. You could see Matt Hasselbeck get his arm in the forward motion, even though it was underhanded. His arm is going forward right there. You saw it as Darren Woodson tries to bring him down, and that ball went up and hit one of the offensive linemen first. There was the illegal touch.
Darren Woodson is the guy who sprung free. Jeff Fiegels back to punt, and Reggie Swinton. Swinton's back at about the 12-yard line. 6:34 left in the 3rd quarter. 7-0 Seattle. We knew, or at least we thought we knew, there wouldn't be many points. And that sort of held up. Fiegel, Cowboys coming after it. Swinton's on his own. He lets it fly, and it flies into the end zone. They'll bring it back to the 20. Alex Bannister down in good coverage. 52-yard punt by Fiegels. Bite separating his shoulder late in the 2nd quarter. Emmitt Smith amassed 229 yards of total offense, 78 of which came after his injury. His efforts helped the Cowboys to a 16-13 overtime win and the NFC Eastern Division title. That is one of the most courageous performances I ever saw, Dale.
I think that is the first game that everybody thinks about when Emmitt Smith's name is mentioned. I can't tell you how important that was. We got the bye week that week. The Giants were forced to play wild card weekend.
The heck of an effort. Here's Emmitt Smith, and he picks up a couple. Emmitt, since the 1st quarter, he had 9 carries, 55 yards, and it looked like the record was going to be on us before we knew it. Since then, the Seahawks have shut him down. Seattle showing blitz. Flag on the play.
False start.
Movement.
Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Antonio Bryant, who has been relatively quiet today, but has made in recent weeks some outstanding plays.
I tell you, as a coach, you hate pre-snap penalties, but when your wide receivers jump spread out in the formation, it's a double-edged sword there, because they can't hear. They should be just looking at the ball anyways.
They go on movement anyway, don't
exactly. I've never understood why they jump out there.
Hutchinson just throws it away. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Okay, Pat, I informed Mike Holmgren at halftime that Emmitt Smith was then about 38 yards away from breaking the record. He looked at me with complete surprise and said, why do all the weird things happen to me when I come down here? Of course, referring to his days when he was with the Packers as their head coach and all the fruitless trips they made then. Meanwhile, a few minutes ago, before Emmitt went out on the field, he had some words of encouragement for his offensive line. He said, hey, let's break this thing open and ram the ball down their throats. Back to you.
Troy Hambrick has replaced Emmitt. Hutchinson back to throw, going deep. And overthrows intended for Antonio Bryant. A flag down on the play. If this is against Seattle, it'll be a Dallas 1st down. Chad Brown put the pressure. Mike
Pass
Holmgren.
interference. Defense number 27.
It is against the Seahawks.
Push down.
Willie Williams.
Never a good time to have a pass interference penalty, but on a 3rd and 15, when you've just forced the offense off the field.
Yeah, they did say 27, but it's 21. 19-yard gain. And a first down. Hutchinson hasn't found the groove yet. Here's Emmitt Smith. Emmitt bouncing off people and struggling close to a first down.
See the motion right there. He wants him to keep doing it. Let's keep it rolling. You heard Pam's comment from Emmitt to the offensive line. This is when he is at his best, when you get some movement inside and he can just get downhill and get his shoulder square. And then look at the fight at the end of the run. He is still fighting for those extra yards like he always has.
I just wonder if that's changing jerseys after each quarter has made the ball more difficult to hold on to. Here's Emmitt again. Right now for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, Atlanta looking for its 4th victory in the last 5. Take a look at the handoff here to Bob Christian. Bob Christian bullying his way 8 yards to pay dirt. And it is now 21-10 Atlanta over New Orleans in the 3rd. Back to Pat, Darrell, and Pam.
Emmitt Smith is out of the lineup for the moment. Troy Hambrick has replaced him. He now needs 24 yards to break the record. Scott was the man in motion. This is Hambrick. Tripped up behind the line. Good play by Seattle's defense, led by Rocky Bernard.
Rocky Bernard got across the face immediately of Javier Collins to get that play. Penetration disrupts the offense. You can see Troy Hambrick have to tiptoe a little bit. There's Emmitt's wife, Pat Smith, with their son. We're getting close now. You saw Emmitt after that last big run roll the fingers. He's starting to get that feel.
23 yards away. They gave him another yard. 2nd and 13. And Emmitt's back in the game. Hutchinson fires complete. Darnay Scott gets near a Dallas first down. Not quite enough.
Well, the one thing that everybody talked about, you know, everybody wants Emmitt to get the record here at Texas Stadium, but the number one thing was to win the football game. And right now, Chad Hutchinson has to do his part. He's been in a little bit of a slump right now. Interesting to see them moving the pocket. One of the things they talked about was he didn't have the mobility. They liked him as a pocket passer, and yet we've seen on several occasions they've kind of sprinted him out to his right.
And he's been more effective when that's happened. Hutchinson hands to Emmitt Smith, and Smith flashes into the secondary. If he hadn't been tripped, that could have done it. He got the first down, and they'll move the chains. He needs now 18 yards. And he almost broke that one.
Here he's come. He's coming right into your living room. He gets tripped up by his fullback, Robert Thomas. He tries to hop over, catches his toe on Robert as he tries to clear him. I agree with you, Pat. If he gets through that line of scrimmage clean, we might be real close right now.
We could be. 1st and 10, Cowboys at the Seattle 36. Smith again. Not much room, but about 4 more yards. Lamar King made the stop. And his wife and one of his many, many fans. Eddie Payton, Walter Payton's brother, and his mother in attendance and observing. He needs 12 yards now. Hambrick is the deep back. That's Galloway in motion, and here's Hutchinson back to throw. All kinds of time, pass complete, but a flag on the play. Joey Galloway made the kneeling catch. Against Dallas.
Illegal shift. Offense. 88 and 84 were moving and did not get set for a second before the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
88 and 84 both moving. Bryant and Galloway.
There's Joey Galloway coming across in motion. Antonio Bryant kind of rocked a little bit at the line of scrimmage, so you have two people in motion.
That was close.
That was very close.
Yeah.
Looked as though Antonio just got off on the snap.
Yep, that's what I thought. But we're not wearing a striped shirt.
Our opinions mean nothing.
That's exactly right. Hambrick is the deep back. Hambrick goes in motion. Empty backfield. Seattle coming on a blitz. Hutchinson has Galloway wide open. Wide open. And he walks in. Chad Hutchinson, his first NFL touchdown as he hits Joey Galloway from 39 yards out.
Well, with the success that Emmitt has been having today, I felt the passing game should have opened up a little bit more. Sean Springs jumps up on that. I think he saw the formation, expected a different play. Sometimes you trust your instincts and things work out well. Other times, a guy gets by you for a touchdown.
They had no running backs. How could you expect something else? Condit's extra point ties it at 7. James Whalen, the new holder. Emmitt, 18 carries, 80 yards. He needs 30. Set to kick off to Maurice Morris. Seahawks took him high in the draft. Morris, I mean. Bouncing kick. Down to Morris at the 5. And stopped by good coverage at about the 26. Led by Marcus Steele. The Cowboy home, Texas Stadium. Don't forget a reminder that Game 7 of this year's World Series, Anaheim and San Francisco. Tonight here on Fox. Look at this. The last team has won. The last team has won. The winning team has won the last 7 times. The home team is what I'm trying to say. Hasselbeck back to throw. Has time, and again he gets it in there to Corin Robinson. Gain of about 8. Dexter Coakley. Kevin Hardy. It could be the end of the quarter, the last play of the quarter. 7-7 tie. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score Seattle 7 for 3 quarters. They're about as even as you can get. The score is 7-7. Time of possession is close. Seattle has one more turnover. Alexander, not enough for first. Emmitt Smith ready to come back, is 13 yards away from the all-time rushing record.
Well, ever since he has talked to his offensive lineman, as Pam Oliver reported, there has definitely been a sense of purpose, and you saw that on the last drive. Probably the biggest running lanes he has had since that opening quarter. Seattle did a really nice job into the second quarter and the beginning of the third quarter, but it looks as though the Dallas Cowboys offensive line was very inspired by Emmitt's talk.
Alexander burrows his way. Max Strong, I believe, got the carry, and he's going to be close. For a game break, let's again go to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, Pat, take a look at Minnesota finally breaking out of its lethargy as Dante Culpepper hooks up a big one, 39 yards to Randy Moss, his first touchdown in 5 games. Minnesota right now on top 25-0 over a lifeless Bears squad. Back to Pat, Darrell, and Pam.
History approaching at Texas Stadium. Hasselbeck tries to lay it up the middle to Darrell Jackson, incomplete. The crowd anticipating the next time the Cowboys get the ball, not to minimize what Seattle's doing, but look at this sellout crowd, and they're all anticipating what's going to happen the next time the Cowboys get the ball. Emmitt Smith needs 13 yards. A greeting, of course, to number 34, the great Walter Payton. Alexander chased down by Woodson, piled up by Zellner and a couple of other tacklers.
Can't forget about Darren Woodson's accomplishment this afternoon, also surpassing Leroy Jordan as the all-time leading tackler for the Dallas Cowboys. And that's a pretty impressive one right there, because that guy Leroy Jordan was one of the best, and Darren Woodson will go down as one of the best also.
And well, he should. 3rd and 8. Passes caught up the middle by Bobby Ingram. The seam pattern was there, and Ingram made the tough catch.
Well, you know, I don't know if you can cover that much better than Dwayne Hawthorne did. Bobby Ingram's going to get the release out of the slot. He kind of gets beat immediately, but that ball is just put in a place where the only person who's going to catch it is Bobby Ingram.
21-yard gain, first down Seattle.
I guess that's why they say football is a game of inches, Pat.
That's just another of many examples. 1st and 10 at the Dallas 39. Now the defense has to go to work again. Hasselbeck changing plays. Gibbs to Alexander. And the pile is there immediately. Kevin Hardy, the first to make contact.
Dallas has always been a defense that's had great speed, and the one thing you don't want to get caught doing is running the ball laterally against this defense. They have tremendous speed to the ball. One of the things that defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer preaches to his guys is getting 11 people to the tackling point. You can see right there, everybody moving in on Sean Alexander as he got stretched out to the sideline.
2nd down. Throw him down. Hasselbeck moves his backs and drops the throw. Lofting deep, and he has a man deep. And dropped it into Darrell Jackson, and he's out of bounds. Seattle is covered by Dwan Hawthorne, but had him beat.
Well, he's kind of sitting on a route right there. You saw Dwan Hawthorne expecting a little curl route. Darrell Jackson just runs right by him. We saw him almost make an interception that could have led for a touchdown. It seems as though Dwan Hawthorne has spent a lot of time studying film. Earlier today, he almost got away with one. That time, Darrell Jackson got him sitting on a route.
1st and goal at the 5. Alexander's deep. Stumbled. The Seahawks have had this kind of turf, which has only been down about a month now. They've had this kind of turf for a long time.
Well, down in the bottom of that turf lives a little monster called the turf monster. And if you don't get your feet up high enough, if you don't get those high knees, every once in a while he jumps out and pulls you down himself. That's what happened to Sean Alexander right there. He just stubbed his toe going into the hole.
2nd and goal. Now Hasselbeck moves. And now he calls a timeout. Didn't like what he saw. He's headed for the sideline, the bench, and a talk with Holmgren. 2 timeouts left for Seattle.
You buy new MSN 8. It's better with the butterfly. MSN 8, more useful every day. By Toyota, get the feeling. by the United States Army, an army of one. And by Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme. It's chicken at a higher level.
7-7 tie at Texas Stadium. 10:24 left to play. The Seahawks first and goal. Second and goal making. Hasselbeck incomplete. Bounces in the end zone. Pressured by Glover just as he let it go.
Looks as though Itulamili is their go-to guy when they get down in the red zone. He's got a couple of touchdown catches already in the red zone. They tried to go to him last week, and they had the big interception. He releases right there against Kevin Hardy. He's getting bumped around by everybody. Yeah. They disrupted the timing of that round pretty good.
Third and goal. Alexander, and he's going to score. He picked his way, and that's his second rushing touchdown of the day. And Seattle's second rushing of the day. 5-yard run by Sean Alexander. One of those guys who can put it in the end zone.
He had that huge game earlier this year against Minnesota where he had 5 touchdowns in the first half. But you had mentioned earlier, Pat, when he got caught flat-footed, that time he shows a lot of patience of not getting too far up in the line of scrimmage, and then he's able to make that backdoor cut, and there was nobody there in support.
11 plays, 74 yards. Lindell to try to make it 14-7. And he does. Sean Alexander, who scored 2 touchdowns today. And the Seahawks lead Super Bowl 28. The Cowboys trailed 13-6 at the half. But thanks to 2 Emmitt Smith second-half touchdowns, the first coming on this 8-play Dallas drive, gave the Cowboys the lead for good. And Emmitt MVP honors.
Everybody asked me what my favorite Emmitt Smith moment is. I think it's that entire drive to open that second half. We were a frustrated offensive football team. He inspired everybody, and from that point on, our confidence just continued to grow throughout the second half.
He got 91 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half. This is Michael Wiley fighting for yardage. 14-7 Seattle. Curtis Fuller down to make the stop.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
How sweet they hope it is. He needs 13 to break it. Emmitt Smith burrows over. Reggie Tongue on the stop. Those of you who have been watching Minnesota and Chicago, welcome to Texas Stadium. Pat Summerall with Darrell Johnson and Pam Oliver. Emmitt Smith needs 10 yards now to break Walter Payton's all-time record. Jerry Jones, the owner, Michael Irvin, the teammate, and Walter's mother, Walter Payton's mother and brother on hand as well. 2nd and 7. Emmitt again. Almost broke it. Almost broke it for a touchdown, I mean. Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. What a thrill to be a part of it.
I'm still not going to come over there. I'm going to let him do his deal with it.
He gained 11. Darrell, how do you feel?
It's unbelievable, Pat. I mean, the feeling down here on the sideline, it's just awesome. You know, you never expect to be a part of anything like that. I'm so happy he did it here at Texas Stadium. These fans really deserve to be a part of this afternoon.
And I'm sure Emmitt's happy that you're on hand, along with Michael Irvin. The balloons, the fireworks, the salutes.
I tell you what, Pat, you're exactly right. That was very, very close of being a real punctuation mark on this record. If it had just kept his feet, like we've seen him do so many times in his career, he's going all the way for a touchdown. And that would have been about as well a script as you could have ever written.
You could tell Michael Irvin was fighting back the tears. Emmitt takes a bow. And you wonder, as Emmitt goes down and hugs his family, his wife, and Emmitt the fourth.
Nice job.
There's the move.
Great job. Hey, he couldn't have done it without you. Nice job.
When I see number 22, I think of Hart. That awfully big Hart. Stopped at the line of scrimmage this time. Antonio Cochran made the stop. Mike Holmgren yesterday said he lost a yard, but he had broken it by 2, so he's now just 1 yard past Walter Payton. But Mike Holmgren said, I love Emmitt. I love what he stands for. I love what he has done for the game. But I don't want him breaking any records against us. It's happened. Hutchinson. Galloway.
Well, I think it worked out, Pat, as well as you could have expected. He got off to a start where, by the schedule, it looked as though he would be able to do this extensive stadium where everybody wanted to. And you see right there, if you could have just popped up off that stumble, he's going to punctuate with a long touchdown run. You can sense right there the emotion that he's feeling. This is one of the records that you just never expected to be broken when it was set. And I can't tell you, you've watched him as a football player, but until you meet him and get to know him as a person, it makes it all that much more special. And I think the Payton family, the time that they have spent in their meetings with Emmitt Smith, and Walter Payton's mom mentioned earlier that Walter always believed that
there he goes.
to be broken.
Past the 40 to the Seattle 38. Robinson made the stop.
And now he can relax and just play, Pat. The record's already there.
14 more yards to add to it. And I think of him, and I think of a man with tremendous character to go along with everything else.
I think the thing that separates people when they get to the level that a guy like Emmitt Smith has done in athletics, it is that character, it is that work ethic. There's a lot of people who are blessed with God-given ability, but when they have the character and the work ethic like Emmitt Smith does, they become something very, very special.
Hutchinson finds Whalen inside the Seattle 30. I beg your pardon, that was Tony McGee. 82 instead of 83. Emmitt is also over 100 yards today. 107, averaging almost 5 yards per carry.
Personal foul.
There they
roughing
are.
the passer, number 91 in the defense. Blow the quarterback with the helmet in the back. 15 yards from the end of the run. In this case, half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Emmitt's got 100 yards today behind Payton and Barry Sanders, who he told me the other day was, in his opinion, the best runner he has seen since he started to play.
Once you get to the group of running backs that are at the top of the NFL yardage list, it really becomes a personal issue of who you consider to be the best.
Yep.
They are absolutely incredible, but having spent my time with that young man right there, there's no doubt in my mind he is the best, the most complete running back to have played in the NFL.
Another carry for Emmitt Smith, who gets out of bounds at about the 12-yard, 13-yard line. Orlando Huff. That is Emmitt Smith's mother, about set to talk, it appears, to Pam Oliver. Very closely knit family.
You talked about the character of this man, Pat, and I think that's where it all comes from. His mom, the sense of family that he brought to our group and our football team, just tremendously strong qualities.
Hutchinson fake to him, drops it over to the tight end, Tony McGee, and Tony McGee was down, got up, and got close to the goal line.
Well, Tony McGee's definitely going to have a word for Chad Hutchinson, because he should have been able to walk into the end zone on that one.
Is he ever open?
That is an all-out play fake. Look at your screen, folks. There's not a blue or a green or whatever color that jersey is anywhere near him.
First and goal to go at the 1. Emmitt is deep. Robert Thomas in front of him. Whalen on the move, and Emmitt Smith hurdles into the end zone. His 150th touchdown of his career. 150 times he's been in there. More than anyone else. A 1-yard run, 24 carries for 109 total yards. He is second to Jerry Rice in touchdowns, total touchdowns, that is. But he is the rushing leader in touchdowns. Billy Cundiff hits the extra point. Flag on the play. Emmitt and Michael. Leroy Glover came over to offer his congratulations. Javier Collins. Might have moved, or he's injured on the play. He's still down. I'll tell you what, he's done a good job. Jerry Jones and Emmitt
offense
Smith.
number 77, 10 yards, retry from the 12-yard line.
The penalty is called against Solomon Page, but it's Javier Collins who's down. Marcus Allen on the scene to do the story on Emmitt for CBS.
I knew it all week long. Had a feeling. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad I could be here. So happy I could be here. I wouldn't miss this for anything.
Oh, shit. Thank you so much, man.
Oh. I enjoyed everything I did for you. You made it fun, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Darrell blocked so many times for Emmitt and was very much a key cog in those great Cowboy teams of the 90s. Don't you know that as proud as he is, how glad he is the quest is over. Let's go to Pam Oliver.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Here with Mary Smith. The Emmitt love continues. Can you just put into words how proud you are of your son today?
I am overly proud of Emmitt. He's worked very hard, but he didn't do it alone. He had the help of the other guys. And, you know, God is just one. Yes.
You told me you had an opportunity to meet Walter Payton along with Emmitt. What are your memories of that moment and of Walter, the person we're really kind of celebrating just as much as Emmitt's accomplishment today?
When I met Walter, I felt that he was one of my kids as well. He was a very, very nice young man, had a very, very sweet personality. And here last year I met his wife, Connie. She's very sweet. We've taken her in our family also. So I just feel that we all are family.
We all are family. Thanks. Let's get it to Pat.
All right, that was a key extra point from more yards out than Cundiff probably would have liked to tie the game. Here's the game breaker, the record breaker. He broke it by 2. And now been part of it. But he's been fighting an ankle injury all year long. It might have been easier if he had been in there. Javier Collins has gone to the locker room. Sprained right knee. Morris bringing the ball out for Seattle, gets up across the 25. Lynn Scott made the stop. One more time, the record-breaking run. Still got a game to play. The record belongs to Emmitt Smith, but the game doesn't belong to anybody yet. It's 14-14. And the Moose has made his way back up to the booth. It must have been some feeling to be down there close to it.
It was amazing as he got close. You could just sense the entire stadium. Knew that it was upon us, and to be able to get a chance to talk to him, I didn't expect that. I knew I'd get a chance to be here, but I never thought I'd get a chance to talk to him right after it. And that is up there with the special moments in my life, for sure.
You got a big hug. I think Hardy was offside. The pass is incomplete, and a flag on the play. This might be an illegal hit, leading with the helmet in the secondary. Darrell Jackson was the intended target of more than the pass, I think.
Darren Woodson's got him in his sights from all the way across.
Led with his helmet, but I don't think he got him in the chin or in the other helmet. Do you?
It'll be interesting if you can't hit a defenseless player. The ball is out. Well, no, it's not out. Darren actually knocks it out. So definitely a big hit. You can see that Darrell Jackson.
That was with the shoulder.
There are 2 fouls, both on the defense. Offside is declined, and personal foul, unnecessary roughness, a hit to a defensive receiver. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I don't know how defenseless he is. He's still fighting to catch the ball.
Exactly, Pat. The rule is you have to have the opportunity to run after you make the catch. You have to be able to get both feet down. No, it's knocked out. It's one of the rules that people talk about, that you're kind of taking away the aggressive style when you play football, because to allow him to land on the ground, it gives him the opportunity to establish possession.
It looks like he leads with the shoulder. And Darren Woodson, as you know and I know, is not a dirty player.
Absolutely not. He is one guy that you always know where he is on the football field too. And it's good to see Darrell Jackson getting up right there. We're talking about the hit, but there's the best thing about that play is he is up and walking to the sideline, shaking some cobwebs off. But yeah, number 28 is the number you look for pre-snap when you play the Dallas Cowboys. You need to know where he is at the line of scrimmage.
Darren Woodson didn't care for the call, and I don't blame him.
I don't know. I think that's just a nice physical football play, Pat.
Yep, I think that's just a matter of personal judgment by the official. This is Sean Alexander again. Kevin Hardy made the stop. 14-14 tie with 5 minutes left. Seattle ball at their own 43. Brandon Noble encouraging the crowd to get behind him. Darren Woodson. He's going to play his game. Hasselbeck back to throw. The rush comes from the weak side. Leroy Glover. Alexander is knocked backwards on a hit by Roy Williams. Well, he is exactly what you said.
I tell you, Pat, he is never getting driven back at the point of contact. He runs through the tacklers like he's actually tackling something 2 yards on the other side of it. Watch the end of this. He can square up, takes him right off his feet, and follows through. He is always moving forward at the point of contact.
However, Seattle got a first down on the play, and they moved the sticks. Alexander's out, Morris is in as the running back for Seattle. Morris to the Dallas 45. Roy Williams again piled it up. A little fracas going on downfield between Corin Robinson and Juan Hawthorne. They got that broken up with no flag.
Well, Corin Robinson has been upset ever since that hit on Darrell Jackson by Darren Woodson. He was trying to get his guys fired up in the huddle, and now it's carrying over to the field. You see right here, this is just some blocking out on the perimeter. Juan Hawthorne better get ready, because Corin Robinson means business right there. They're both lucky they didn't get a flag there.
Yep. That's what you call getting some business. 2nd and 7. Again, Brandon Noble encouraging the crowd to make some noise. Morris. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Marcus Steele over to make the stop. Timeout, Dallas. 3:12 left to play. 14-14 tie with Seattle on the move. 3rd and long. Alexander is back in. He's the deep back. Cowboys showing blitz. Going deep. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Juan Hawthorne was back there with Corin Robinson, but a penalty marker comes flying down, and this has got to be against Hawthorne. I'm not sure why.
Pass interference. Defense, number 38. Automatic. First down.
The problem is Juan Hawthorne never turned around to make a play on the football. You watch the matchup up here, the top of your screen. Watch when the ball gets to the point where it can be caught. He never turns around to pick up the football. He continues with his head focused on the receiver and makes contact. If he's going to make contact, he's got to at least have his head turned around trying to make a play on the football.
19-yard penalty. The pass was deflected, incomplete, but the penalty kept the drive alive. 3:07 left to play. Alexander steps away from one tackler in the backfield and loses yardage. Roy Williams tracked him down.
Roy Williams kidded with Darren Woodson during the week that he had better enjoy his tackle record, because within 8 or 9 years, Roy was going to break Darren's record.
Timeout, Dallas. They have one left. Hasselbeck motioning to either side and dropping to throw. Chased out of the pocket and caught by Kevin Hardy, well short of the first down marker. Leroy Glover applied the pressure that chased him out.
And the nice thing that Kevin Hardy did right there, when he made his decision to come after the quarterback, he came right at him. He didn't hesitate and worry about dropping back in coverage.
Timeout Cowboys, and they have none left. Score.
What a big third down right here.
Yep.
If the Seahawks are able to convert, Dallas has no timeouts. They'll get one stop at the 2-minute warning, but Seattle will be able to take a lot of time off this clock before they would line up for a game-winning field goal or to go in for the touchdown.
Well, they're at field goal range now. Third and long. 12 yards they need for a first. Here's Hasselbeck to throw. Dumps it outside. They'll have the first down. Sean Alexander found the open spot. And the clock continues to run. Dallas, as Darryl said, no timeouts left. They'll stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 15-yard pickup. They've been extremely effective on third and long.
They really have it. It's a down and distance that Darren Woodson was worried about before. He feels that the defense can't get teams off the field in that situation. On a 3rd and 12, they send the receivers deep beyond the chains, but everybody forgets about Sean Alexander. He makes one move on Marcus Steele and gets the yards necessary for the first down.
15 yards he picked up. And here's Alexander again. Down to the 6, and we should get the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Don't forget, this evening, Game 7 of the World Series tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Whoever wins tonight wins the World Series. It's in Anaheim. Matt Hasselbeck, 12 out of 18. He's been very effective since he came in.
He's done a tremendous job. You mentioned the third downs earlier and the fact that they've been able to audible on everything they had in their game plan.
Alexander knocked backwards, regains his balance, and gets down, stopped by Leroy Glover inside the 3. The clock continues to run. That's the play clock down in the left-hand corner. The game clock up top. Might be wise to let him score.
Yeah, I don't know what they did on that last play, Pat. You mentioned Mike Holmgren doing it at Green Bay versus the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. If they have a great defensive stand here and hold them to a field goal, they're going to have very little time to drive the length of the field to kick the tying field goal. I say let them score a touchdown and take my chances with more time on the clock.
And tie it up and send it into overtime. There's a lot of ifs. Here's Alexander, and he's stopped short of the first down. Now it's 4th down. Now what does Holmgren do?
He lets this clock go all the way down, uses one of his timeouts, or actually even takes the penalty before he kicks. We've got Matt Hasselbeck talking to the official right out of the field. He's going to be there to call it right when the clock gets down to 1 second. We'll only have 27 seconds when this field goal is kicked.
Assuming it's good, there's no such thing, I've often said, as an easy shot.
No chip shots?
Nope. People think there are, but when the score is tied like this late in the game, no such thing.
Well, we had a perfect example last week with Dallas and Arizona when they missed the extra point.
Seahawks take a timeout. So they have one left. Ryan Lindell is the Seattle kicker. Jeff Fiegels is one of the holders. Hasselbeck is the other, and he's the one who'll do the holding now. Cowboys will have almost, well, negligible time left. They've used all their timeouts. if this is good and when they get the ball back. Hasselbeck kneels at the 10. 21-yard field goal attempt to put Seattle ahead with less than a minute left. And it's hammered through quickly. And it's 17-14, a 20-yard field goal by Lindell puts the Seahawks ahead. And Hutchinson in his first start in the NFL. Those of you who've been watching Minnesota-Chicago, welcome to Texas Stadium as Lindell's kickoff goes deep to the 1 to Swinton. Looking for an alley, gets to the 25. Alex Bannister down to make the stop. Cowboys have 21 seconds left on the clock.
Let's go back to the end of the first half, Pat, and take a look at an almost touchdown in a situation they will be using here. A Hail Mary. Kenyon Rambo gets beyond all the coverage and should have had a touchdown catch.
Hutchinson dropped it right in there. They're at the 26-yard line. Hutchinson back to throw. Pass is caught by Tony McGee. Hurry up and let's spike it. 10 seconds, 9. Hutchinson's got to hurry. 4 seconds left. It's going to be another throw it up as high as and far as I can and hope one of my guys come down with it.
What a heck of a catch by Tony McGee. Willie Williams does a good job of falling off the deep route down the sideline, comes in and makes the big hit, preventing Tony McGee from getting out of bounds, taking some more few precious seconds off the clock.
2nd and 10 from their own 39. Hutchinson drops. Couldn't get much on it. But the catch is made by Antonio Bryant. A remarkable catch and a penalty, and the game can't end on the penalty. The game can't end on the penalty. Flag is down. Now, does he want to tie it or go for the win? I think Cundiff is going to come out to try for the field goal. The flag. It can't end on a defensive penalty.
Well, we've seen some celebration by the Seahawks.
Yep.
Illegal touching. The offense, number 84, went out of bounds, was the first to return to touch the ball. The game is over.
Well, you heard Galloway fighting for yardage. Emmitt gets the congratulations. Let's go down to Pam Oliver with Emmitt Smith.
Okay, thanks a lot, Pat. Emmitt, when that moment came, was it everything you thought it would be?
Yeah. The only disappointing part about it right now is that the fact we didn't win the game, and we played hard.
I know this is much down the road for you, but where does this leave you? What is left for you to accomplish at this point?
Same thing Jerry Rice is doing, playing football for the love of the game. That's all I've ever played for. Along the way, if anything happened between now and then, the time I say it's over or the time that we decided to leave it alone, then that's that. But for the most part, I'm going to continue to play the game and try to play at a high level, try to win the game, and do everything to help this team move forward.
How does it make you feel when the Paytons say if anybody's going to do it, they're happy it was you?
It's me proud to even be mentioned in the same breath as Walter, and I have so much respect for him and his family, and
Thank you. Congratulations.
So Emmitt, the chase is over. And he can get back to serious dedication to football, which he really had. We'll be back in a moment.
At the break of the third to fourth quarter, John Hall was in this very area of the field behind the other offenses when they were at the other end, looking at the ground, searching out a spot, a firm.
I think about it. I mean, that's a lot of yardage, being in a position to achieve this record. To get it, that would be the ultimate.
That should do it. Move over, Sweetness. Make a place for Emmitt.
He is now the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
Brought to you by Blockbuster. Make it a Blockbuster night.
If this football team stays together, win every single Sunday, man.
We got a long way to go. I want you to enjoy the journey.
We play our game. Fight back, win every single Sunday, man.
Ah, this is great. Spiders. Well, there goes the neighborhood.
Spider-Man has arrived at Blockbuster, and we've got the best way to bring the movie home. Buy it on DVD or video and get a full-week rental absolutely free. Plus, you're automatically entered to win a Blockbuster exclusive, a life-size replica of the web-slinger himself. One lucky winner will be picked from every store. So buy the movie, get a free rental, and a chance to win a limited edition Spider-Man replica. It's a great deal, and it's only at Blockbuster.
Maybe 7-Eleven's new Go-Go Taquitos are a little too tasty. 3 spicy flavors and a crispy tortilla. They're a fresh new take on food to go.
Hey yo, part 2, AI and J Kiss presenting the A6 from the wrist. Could tell us a straight switch. Now I'm the problem, and he's the answer. Soon as you try to guard up, you ain't got a chance to stop it. Any given time, he could pop it. The Reebok A6 is hot, go cop it.
For 2K3, I rock the A6 on my new kicks. Take a few hits, it ain't nothing, I'm used to it. Trying to build a team, I'm the player you need. Hard like Willis Reed, top thief and score in the league.
There's no way to disguise your dream. Besides family, the only thing on his mind now is a ring. He got love for the game. His start was huge, and you seen him play hurt cause his heart is huge. 6 feet, 165, call ISO. Anytime he want to split your 5. Play to win, he don't play for stats. Brought the hood to the game, and they love him for the braids and tats. Yeah, track masters, AI and J Kiss. Make sure you go out and get a pair of the A6.
Part 2, AI and J Kiss presenting the A6. It's all fundamental and basics. Part 2, AI and J Kiss presenting the A6. It's all fundamental and basics.
Maybe 7-Eleven's new Go-Go Taquitos are a little too tasty. 3 spicy flavors and a crispy tortilla. They're a fresh new take on food to go.
They stole her identity.
I need to know what happened to me.
And they murdered the man she loved. This Sunday, Sydney Bristow strikes back. Alias, Sunday at 9, 8 Central, followed by The Practice on ABC.
20 years ago, we went to Chicago to do a feature on Bears running back Walter Payton and his off-season workout routine. We followed Sweetness to a dirt hill that was ridiculously steep, and we watched him run up this hill over and over and over again. It wasn't literally a mountain, but figuratively, we were watching Payton on his quest to reach the top of the NFL mountain. And eventually, he did become the league's all-time leading rusher. Now, when I look back on that day in Chicago, I remember seeing Payton standing by himself on the top of that hill. The view was his alone, as it was for so many years, until now.
Game day, look good, feel good, play good. But I slept pretty good last night. I got up early this morning. I was up probably around 6, a little bit before 6.
It's a cloudy 67-degree day at Texas Stadium.
My guess is Emmitt Smith will be more nervous today
than he was when he took his first carry in 1990. You're going to see some second and third effort, I think, out of him today. He desperately wants this record down.
It's not just any other Sunday.
16,726 is one sweet number. Walter Payton's NFL rushing record was a distance equal to 1/3 of a marathon. A distance traversed not mile by mile, but yard by yard, inch by inch.
Well, who's the fastest? Well, I know I wasn't the fastest. They said, well, who's the biggest? I know I wasn't the biggest. Who's the strongest? I know that I was not the strongest. What do I have?
Walter Payton will always be remembered for his heart, as will his successor. Such is the significance of the game's most revered record. To break it is to climb football's Mount Everest. As much as speed, talent, and skill, the all-time rushing record is a measure of survival, endurance, and will.
The hardest thing in the world to do is to have a consistent career and do what you do on a consistent basis for a long period of time. To me, that's what defines a true player.
From the time he was a schoolboy legend in Pensacola, Florida, consistency has been Emmitt Smith's hallmark. He rushed for over 8,800 yards and scored 106 touchdowns at Escambia High School, entering the University of Florida, the most celebrated recruit in school history.
When I first watched Emmitt in Florida, I was at Miami, of course, and he was just a freshman, and you hear about he ran for 200 yards. I was like, let me watch this young fella. And you'll watch him, and first it looked like he was walking. It looked like he wasn't even running fast. I was like, man, how is he getting 200 yards? He's getting 200 yards a game I watch. But it looked like he could barely run. I really didn't think he'll be fast enough for the NFL.
Emmitt set 58 school records in just 3 seasons at Florida. But he was passed over by 16 teams in the first round of the NFL draft.
Emmitt was sliding because of a lack of speed. And a lot of NFL teams are going to let him slide right on through because of that speed. Everybody wants the fast back.
But Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, the former University of Miami coach, knew Emmitt was a risk worth taking.
Jimmy and his staff had recruited Emmitt Smith. They had played against Emmitt Smith. And I remember Joe Brodsky, the running back coach, kept bringing up during the draft meetings, if he has no speed, why does he have so many long runs?
We'd been looking for days at what Emmitt had done at every level, the junior high level, high school level, and then, of course, what he had done at Florida. And his production just blew you away.
So did his clothing in his first official appearance as a Dallas Cowboy.
That was the ugliest suit I had ever seen. Michael could have got away with it. Emmitt kind of got away with it. But that's the first thing I thought was, oh my, I hope this isn't a portent of things to come.
Do my job, catch the ball, ease a little bit of pressure off Troy, and just do my job. And get him back to the Super Bowl? Hopefully get him back to the Super Bowl real soon.
I viewed Emmitt as a guy who was going to help us. He was going to help us offensively because we really did not have much of a running game. Now, I think for anybody, myself, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones, anybody, to say that at that time they envisioned this guy going on to be the all-time rushing leader in NFL history, I think that they'd be kidding themselves.
Once he replaced the polka dots with a blue star, Emmitt became a star, especially in the eyes of his teammates.
The coaches would get on to me all the time about not carrying out fakes. And a big reason was I wanted to get turned around as much as anybody else and watch Emmitt run. He had an uncanny ability to make people miss.
I've been going downfield when he's running, and you'll see a guy coming from the side, and he's focused on everything in front of him, and this guy's got a clean shot on him. I mean, he's going to clean his clock, and at the last second, he stops, and the guy goes blind. And he just walking back to the huddle going, how did you see that guy? I mean, the only reason I saw him because I was trailing you.
You know, I would come back and say, God, that was a great move, man. I said, man, dog, that was a great move. He said, you saw that? I said, yeah, man. He said, you should have been blocking.
Dallas at its own 25. Aikman, handoff Smith. At left tackle, pops out to the 30. A block from right, gets him to the 40. Breaking right to the 45. Holy cow, what a great play. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith, 75 yards. Thank you very much.
Emmitt's the guy who disappears into the line of scrimmage, and the play's over. And I've been guilty of this. I'm on tape guilty of this. Emmitt disappears off tackle, and everything stops. Except it doesn't quite stop.
Gets it. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's going to score. Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
As a runner, I can do a lot of things. I can run you over. I can shake you down. I can run around you. I can go through you if I had to.
There are guys that's faster. There are guys that's stronger. But there's no one better than Emmitt. And you know how? You know what? Because like I say, even when I watched him, I was like, so what's so special about him? He makes it look like it's nothing, but it's really everything. No doubt about it. He's born to run.
Coming left, falls down, gets back up to the 1, to the goal line. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith. Aikman handoff, Smith up the middle, breaks a tackle. Emmitt Smith breaking a beheading tackle. Touchdown, Cowboys.
I guess I don't have the prototype physique of a true athlete, I guess, whatever that may be. So bogus, so full of, you know what I'm saying. When you look at a player, you gotta look at a player's heart and how hard he plays the game.
Hey, Ray, look at this. Wall-to-wall entertainment.
You want?
In his first 6 years in the NFL, Emmitt Smith rushed for nearly 9,000 yards, led his team to 3 Super Bowls, and set an NFL record with 25 touchdowns in a single season.
Hand off, Emmitt Smith up the middle, running 25, 30. One tackle to break, he does. 25, 20. Straight to the end zone, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Some observers felt it came too easily. Emmitt's accomplishments, they said, were more a byproduct of his playing on the best team in football than a reflection of his talents.
He's got the 25, he's got the 20, he's got the 10, he's got the touchdown, and he's got the NFL rushing championship for the 2nd year in a row.
Emmitt's remarkable productivity, his trademark since high school, failed to impress his critics.
He could never do enough. He could win NFL MVP awards. He could win 3 Super Bowls. He could win a Super Bowl MVP award, and still people would say, well, Barry Sanders would have done the same thing.
The most exciting running back in the NFL at that time was Barry Sanders. You know, the things that he was able to do as a runner, changing direction, making people miss, was fun to watch. To me, when you talk about Emmitt Smith, he is the most complete running back, maybe to have ever played the game.
Like Barry, Emmitt was capable of the spectacular, but his true strengths invited comparison to another.
I think he's very much like Peyton. I think he's the guy that could do it all. One of the games that jumped out about me with Emmitt, his rookie year, they were playing the Rams at Los Angeles. He had 100 yards of receiving yards. And that told us, this is more than a running back. This is a complete football player.
The 2 things you think of when you think of Walter Payton, not some brilliant hip one way, ankle the other way, and threw for 60 yards. That's Sanders. That's Dorsett. Sweetness was a dive into the line of scrimmage and coming through the other side and going 6 more yards. That was Payton, and that's Emmitt Smith. The other thing that Peyton was a stone killer as a blocker. I've been doing this in this league 25 years. I haven't seen a back get that kind of rushing load, block like Peyton, except Emmitt Smith.
I think the most amazing thing I saw Emmitt do is he made a block on a safety against Chicago years ago. We're playing at Soldier Field, and a guy came out on a blitz, and Emmitt picked him up on a blitz and sent him back.
He was better in pass protection than I was. He shot quite a few people. He had this way of just uncoiling on people and getting right up under their chins and standing them up.
Like Peyton, Emmitt was not only his offense's first option, but also its last line of defense.
He never came off the field like Barry Sanders did. He was the best first and second down back. He was the best blitz pickup guy. He was the best receiver out of the backfield, the best goal line running back. He'd get hit on every single play at least once.
That was quite a responsibility on Emmitt Smith and a lot of wear and tear. And you really had to not only be talented, but you had to have a lot of just sheer will and perseverance to take on that kind of load.
Emmitt's greatest game was a fitting testament to his toughness and durability, just like Peyton's greatest game. In 1977, weakened by the flu, Sweetness rushed for 275 yards against the Vikings, breaking the all-time single-game rushing record. 16 years later, in the Cowboys' most important game of the season, Emmitt single-handedly overcame the Giants because he only had one hand to use.
Smith is down. Emmitt Smith is down at the Giants' 30.
After separating his shoulder on the frozen Meadowlands turf in the second quarter, Emmitt refused to leave the game.
You could have pleaded your case for hours, and there was no way you were going to get him off the football field.
And every time I got hit, you could hear that in my chest. That's what it sounded like. I'm sitting on the football field. I'm in the huddle saying to myself, no pain, no pain. I'm just talking to myself, no pain. And tears are rolling out my eyes. I'm just trying to convince myself there's no pain, but I'm feeling all the pain.
Determined to give his team home field advantage in the playoffs, Emmitt played on. By game's end, the Cowboys had given him the ball on 42 of their 70 offensive plays.
You'll never forget the day Emmitt Smith ran 32 times for 170 yards and caught 10 balls for 62 and did most of it with one arm.
He stood up and played. I mean, he just played and played and played. Man, I've never seen a performance like that.
That, to me, was the defining moment of Emmitt Smith. The toughness, the competitiveness, the ability to just will himself to give us a chance to win, and we kicked a field goal in that game to give us home field advantage.
4 weeks later, the Cowboys were playing in their second straight Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 28, we were haphazardly playing the first half of the Super Bowl and went into the locker room down 13-6. We came out in the second half, and I'll never forget, it was a vintage Dallas Cowboys Emmitt Smith drive. Actually, it wasn't vintage because we didn't throw it very much. Norv Turner called Emmitt's number 7 times in a row. You look at the play-by-play, it says Smith off the right side, +9. Smith off the left side, +4.
Smith for 9, Smith for 3, Smith for 8, Smith for 7.
And then the 7th play, or the 8th play of the drive, was Emmitt Smith for 15 yards, touchdown.
Aikman draw to Smith. Tackle the breaks away to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
Hit in the backfield. He was going to go down, most back, almost all backs would have gone down.
You could see when he scored that touchdown, it was still very much a ball game, but the game was over.
2 in a row. How sweet it is.
I think we all realize now, but at the time, I don't think how much this organization rode that horse. I mean, he was a thoroughbred, and they said you're not supposed to be able to run a running back into the ground like that, but we just kept going to the whip and riding him and riding him and riding him.
Ray, check this out. Your ultimate movie connection. That means
In football, success is never individual. In Dallas, Emmitt Smith comprised just 1/3 of perhaps the greatest trio in pro football history.
Well, I think it's pretty remarkable that in 3 consecutive drafts, the Cowboys took a wide receiver better than Drew Pearson, a quarterback better than Roger Staubach, and a running back better than Tony Dorsett. I know at one point in '99, the Cowboys were 83-18 when they had all 3 of them, and 13-15 when any one of them was missing.
The triplets was probably something that I took as much pride in as anything. We were all 3 looking for our own little niche. We were all looking for team success, but we were all trying to find our own identity and to have our own individual success along the way. And we were able to do that. And we not only were able to do it, but we were able to do it together. We all really needed each other.
Me and Michael always wanted to be the last ones out. And when we come out of there, out of the tunnel, we always remind each other, make plays, make plays. You and I, deuce in '88. Psh, psh. Let's do it. That was our attitude.
Oh, you got butterflies on this. That's big, man. It is big. Something right out there. Oh, yeah. Goddamn people, huh?
It's almost a perfect fit. Because Troy way over here, conservative, quiet, like Emmitt's kind of in the middle, and I was way over there. You know, and I think when we got together, it just mashed well.
Michael was the soul, Troy was the mind, and Emmitt was the body. And we rode that body a long, long way.
By the mid-90s, observers were beginning to wonder just how far that body could ride.
The number, 16,726. What's that mean?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I can say about that. Unbelievable. It's so far out there. I mean.
Yeah, but now people are talking about you know, closing in on that record.
I got to be a very blessed man in order to get that record there. But that is a number that I wrote down in 1990. And that is a number that I knew was going to take longevity in order to get it. At the top, where Walter Payton and Dorsett and those guys are. I got to be up there with those guys before I consider being great.
In his first 12 seasons at football's most punishing position, Emmitt missed only 4 games with injuries. But in '97, the constant pounding began to take its toll. While Barry Sanders rushed for over 2,000 yards, Emmitt finished with barely 1,000 in the worst season of his career.
As a running back, as soon as you start approaching 30, that's when they say, hey, you know, your legs are gone, you can't run anymore. And anytime Emmitt had a difficult game, then people were always quick to say, well, he's finished.
Hey, Emmitt, just keep running, man. That's all you can do. That's all you can do is just keep running.
A lot of people for a long time wrote about the fact that Emmitt was done. He was never going to get Walter Payton's rushing record. He wasn't going to be the best back on his team much longer, and may not have been then.
On a Monday night in Chicago, Emmitt came face-to-face with his football mortality. Late in the 4th quarter, on Walter Payton's former home field, Emmitt dove over the top on a play fake. But he landed awkwardly on his neck, temporarily losing feeling on his left side. After arriving in the locker room, he received encouragement from an unexpected visitor.
I got a visit from Walter Payton. He came down. He came down out of the stands while I was hurt. God bless his soul. He was there, and he came up. I'm in tears like I am now. Kissed me on my forehead. He said everything is gonna be all right.
said, don't worry about nothing. He said, it's in God's hand. He said, if you need anything, I'm going to be here. I'll be here for you. And I remember giving Marge, my assistant, his telephone number to call. He was there. And he was there just encouraging me through this whole situation. And at the time, I thought it all was over. I just thought, it's it. Because I couldn't feel nothing on my left side. Didn't know the degree of the neck injury. And that was that. He was there. And I wish he was here now.
When Peyton died of cancer in 1999, all of football honored him. That Monday night in Minnesota, Emmitt Smith planned his own tribute.
I wanted to go out and give the best performance that I possibly could, you know, try to dedicate that particular game to him. And that was my whole mindset going into that ball game. It's going to be a great night because I know that Walt is watching, and I'm going to dedicate whatever happened this night to that man. I wanted to break his single-game rushing record. I felt like that night was going to be the night that all history come running down. And when it's all said and done and over, I wanted it to be for him.
What a run by Emmitt Smith. What a run by Emmitt Smith. 63 yards.
Carrying a defender into the end zone on his longest touchdown in 6 years, Emmitt broke his hand.
I didn't realize I broke it. I said to one of the guys, I think I done tore a ligament in my hand. And then before you know it, the next play, the kickoff, they fumble, and we get the ball back. So I grabbed my helmet with the broke hand, run out on the field, put it on, and they called my number again, and before you know it, I'm back in the end zone again.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Emmitt Smith has done it again. 24 yards, and he's got 87 on the last 2 carries.
He finished the first half with 140 yards, but the second touchdown was his final carry of the night. The broken hand kept one Peyton record intact, but another remained in Emmitt's sights.
Ah, this is great. Spiders.
6 players held the all-time rushing record. From 1932 to 1962, it was passed from the Redskins' Cliff Battles to the Packers' Clark Hinkle, to the Eagles' Steve Van Buren, and the 49ers and Colts' Joe Perry. Jim Brown held the record the longest, from 1963 to 1984, when Walter Payton eclipsed him in Chicago.
McKinnon lines up wing to the right, high formation, quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it, he's out of it at 25 to the 26-yard line. Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher, surpassing Jim Brown on his second carry here in the second half, and that's the equivalent to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. And listen to the standing ovation.
By the late 90s, Sweetness had identified 2 candidates worthy of carrying the torch.
I recall Walter telling me, he says, 2 people that I believe in the National Football League that has an opportunity to get that record. Barry Sanders and you. So y'all are the only 2 people I believe that can get that. And I want to see y'all get it. And I'm like, okay. That fueled me more to go after it.
In 1998, Barry Sanders retired. Emmitt, however, kept on running.
Smith stops, reverses field right. Now cuts north-south. Highlight film touchdown for Emmitt Smith.
If you look at the history of backs over 30 gaining yards, it's the big backs. Franco Harris, John Riggins, John Henry Johnson. Small backs have a shorter lifespan in the NFL. The wall's generally 29. Emmitt exploded to the wall. Emmitt's been a good back into his 30s.
He's a cross between the Energizer Bunny and the little engine that could. All you need to do is give him a little bit of coal, and he keeps chugging up that hill.
At an age when most running backs are winding down, Emmitt kept going and going. As he revved up for one last run with history, Emmitt kept a promise to the legend he was chasing.
When Walter was sick, we had conversations and over the phone, and in one conversation I recalled him saying, one thing I want you to do for me is call my son Jared, talk to him, and try to keep him uplifted, and try to make sure that he's on the right track, and don't let him get down.
The first time I met Emmitt was at a golf tournament in Miami.
And I met him and everything. We was just talking about his father, talking about how he was doing at Miami University, how things was going at the time. And he just blurted out and just said, man, you remind me of my father so much.
I mean, it kind of scared me a little bit because the things that he was saying to me is some things that my dad would say to me.
Just sitting there having a conversation and talking to him about just life, just trying to get an understanding of where he's at and how he was doing since the death of his father and so forth, was a good conversation.
I think my dad saw a lot of himself in Emmitt, and I do too. I mean, growing up now and being 21, I see it a lot. I think the spirit of sweetness is like everything that my dad stood for.
That is a beautiful trophy, and that's going to look very well on my mantle.
When we sat down and talked about giving this award, and he came up, it wasn't that he came up because he was about to break the record. It just became up because of the kind of person he was.
When you get an award and you do certain things in life and people recognize you for what you're doing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, but when you get something from a person or a family that represents truly what the game means, a person that was dedicated to excellence, a person that means a lot to me.
To me, when I saw him, break down like that, it hurt me because it's just like, wow, you look at a guy like that who you look as kind of like being like Superman or, a superhero, and to see that he has feelings like that and they're not afraid to show them, to me, that's a man right there to me.
I'm trying to be strong, trying to hold my emotions and all, but I just can't help it. That's how much he meant to me. And that's how much it's gonna mean to me when I break it.
Walter Payton stood 5 feet 10 inches tall, 202 pounds. Emmitt Smith stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 212 pounds. The similarities do not end there. Entering his 13th season, Emmitt's numbers were almost identical with Payton's. Needing 540 yards to pass Payton, he gained 447 in the Cowboys' first 7 games, leaving him 93 shy of the record.
For me, I always wanted my dad to have the record. It was something that I never thought would be broken, to be honest. After Barry Sanders, got close, I was like, maybe, Emmitt might, but I didn't think he had enough years left in him. But if you take a 34 and switch it with that 22, you see a lot of the same little things. Maybe not the high step that my dad used to do, but it does. It actually feels right. It feels like it fits.
I'm happy Barry did what he did. And I like Barry, I love Barry, and I think he's a great player. But if you don't want it bad, I don't want you to have it. It means that to Emmitt. He always wanted to be the best.
What's up, love?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing this morning?
Go get it, Emmitt!
Thank you. Yep. You can have a hug.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is for you, and this card is for after today.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all be good. All right, love. There you go. We'll see y'all later. Love you too. Be good. Get a lot of love from the fans of Dallas.
Here's the paper for you.
All right, thank you. Morning, gentlemen. The same old me, baby.
Ray, check this out. Your ultimate movie connection. That means I'll have my...
Somewhere, a lion's heart beats in a man. Somewhere, a boy puts on number 22 and dreams of breaking your record. Somewhere, the writer of records is sharpening his pencil. Somewhere, the doubters are silent. Somewhere, Walter Payton is smiling.
Can your jacket do this? The remarkable, reversible Land's End down jacket. 7 great colors, 1 great price, just $68. And proof, once again, nobody knows winter wear inside out. Like Land's End, your outerwear headquarters.
Order We Were Soldiers on pay-per-view and get the book on tape, We Were Soldiers Once and Young. A $40 value for free. The original epic story of courage by Lieutenant General Harold G. Moore that inspired the movie We Were Soldiers. Just send your pay-per-view bill showing the charge for the movie to We Were Soldiers Book on Tape Offer. Post Office Box 102858, Denver, Colorado. 80250-2858. We Were Soldiers, playing on pay-per-view.
Stuff to keep my mind off it.
The marathon runner had entered the Coliseum. This was Emmitt's last leg on his run with history.
Wouldn't you know it that I'd have to be here for this deal?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Congratulations. Regardless of what happens, you know, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I always have been.
Thank you.
I mean that.
I appreciate you.
You're everything that's good about this game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unfortunately, you just killed me too many times, buddy.
Well, we'll see what happens today. Who knows?
All right,
who knows? Take care. Good luck.
I formation, standard set. And the first play is a handoff to Emmitt Smith, and he's going to get a couple.
Not today. No. No.
Had nerve tell me I can't let you today. Number 90 said I can't let you today.
Yeah, you believe that? You a fool.
Handoff, Smith coming at right tackle. A big cheer as he gets to the 30. Gain of 11. He needs 80 more. Smith coming right, a block from Thomas. Cuts to the 50, breaks a tackle. Right to the 45, breaks a tackle. 14 more for Emmitt Smith. The count is 65 yards. I formation behind Hutchinson. Handoff, Smith at left tackle, 50, 45, spinning. He's 38 yards away. And a Handoff, Smith coming right, hit in the backfield. And the number just increased.
Come on, Emmitt, you ain't getting it today, baby. You ain't getting it.
You know what, Eden, if you was all pro, I would respect you. It's a 4-quarter game. Get your damn head in this thing for 4 quarters.
Get in that offensive line's face and tell their ass that they got to give us everything they got now.
90's talking trash like he an all-pro, guys. He's talking trash like he a straight all-pro, 90.
No, start getting on
So I'll tell you what. This next series when we get the ball, we need to drive it down their freaking throat and break their damn back.
Draw to Smith up the middle, 35, 40. Spinning, churning, 9 more, 28 yards away. Smith is in the game on 3rd down, and he'll carry it in left guard, and he's got a first down across the 40. Down to the 37-yard line, he's under 20 yards away.
En route to his 75th 100-yard rushing day, Emmitt ran over, around, and through the Seattle Seahawks. Sweetness was in sight, and Emmitt's moment was imminent.
Let's say congratulations before all the hoopla starts. A long way from Pensacola.
We're a long way from 13 yards, too.
I know.
At the rate we go.
Long way from that high school to here.
That's true. It is. It is.
I left flip. 27 this. 17 boss trick with me. I'm on the height.
He needs 10 yards. High formation, 2 receivers right. 2nd and 7 at the Dallas 30. Handoff, Smith at left guard, 35, 40-yard line, right on the mark. That should do it. Move over, Sweetness. Make a place for Emmitt. The torch is passed. Long live the king. Emmitt Smith has eclipsed Walter Payton as the NFL's all-time rushing leader, and somewhere Sweetness is smiling.
That's my goal.
This is indescribable.
Emmitt Smith had just broken the all-time rushing record. What did he do next?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
He did what came naturally. He went back to work.
Let's go. Let's run this bitch down their throat. Let's go.
Out of the eye, handoff, Smith coming right, 50, 45, a move to the 40, and down to the Seattle 38-yard line. 1st and goal from the 1. Crowd wants Emmitt to carry this. Handoff, Smith, diving, touchdown.
Good job, man.
Emmitt's final carry resulted in the 150th rushing touchdown of his career. For 13 seasons, he has run a never-ending race. Finally, it was time to share his accomplishment with those teammates who began the journey with him so long ago.
I wish I could have lined up, suited up one more day, and that would be that day, and be on the field when he break that record.
Congratulations, man. Thank you, man. I love you, man. Thank you. You deserve it, buddy.
Everybody has asked me, how long would you have played if you hadn't hurt your neck? And I would have played
up until he broke this record. I'd just like to be there, just to be able to, give him a big hug and kind of soak the whole thing in.
You got it, buddy. Yeah, I knew it all week long.
I had a feeling. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Glad I could be here. So happy I could be here.
I wouldn't miss this for anything. Thank you so much, man.
I enjoyed everything I did for you. You made it fun, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
There's nothing I would have loved more outside of winning another Super Bowl, but to be out on the field when Emmitt accomplishes that and breaks the record, because I was there for so many of the handoffs. 11 years of his career, I had the best seat in the house.
I love you. It's fabulous, unbelievable.
Come a long way from that purple shirt and yellow polka dots, baby, since the first time I saw you.
Brought to you by Blockbuster. Make it a Blockbuster night.
Maybe 7-Eleven's new Go-Go Taquitos are a little too tasty. 3 spicy flavors and a crispy tortilla. They're a fresh new take on food to go.
Level 5 Gundam, 17 hours.
Level 4, 3 days.
5 levels.
Level 3, 2 hours a night.
Up to 140 parts.
Level 1, Gundam, 1 hour.
Near endless articulation.
Level 5, 10 hours.
Gundam, what's your level of commitment?
I am Emmitt Smith.
I'm Emmitt Smith.
I'm Emmitt Smith.
I am
Emmitt
Smith.
I am Emmitt Smith.
No, really, I am.
Worried that the you shopping online isn't really you? That's why there's Verified by Visa, a security service that helps protect Visa cards from unauthorized online use with a personal password. This service is only available on select Visa cards issued by participating financial institutions.
I am Emmitt Smith.
Please.
To learn more and to check if your card is eligible for this service, go to visa.com/verified.
Maybe 7-Eleven's new Go-Go Taquitos are a little too tasty. 3 spicy flavors and a crispy tortilla. They're a fresh new take on food to go.
On the season finale of Bake, Borrow, and Deal, they've accomplished the most grueling sports tasks ever.
All this for one task.
But only one team will make it to Alcatraz. Bake, Borrow, and Deal, the season finale, Tuesday at 8 on ESPN.
With his name and number stamped into history, Emmitt Smith was called back onto the field for a Texas-sized curtain call.
Number 22, Emmitt Smith.
True to his nature, Emmitt kept on running, this time on a well-deserved victory lap. 13 seasons in the making.
For you fans, this is about heart. This is about character. There's only one NFL rushing champion, and there's only one Emmitt Smith.
In 1990, when Jimmy and Jerry drafted me, the night of the draft, I come in with my little polka dotted outfit on, and I come right out that tunnel right there. And I looked up and I saw those guys' name up on that Ring of Honor. And one day I said, I'm going to have my name up on the Ring of Honor someday. This is something that I think you deserve as well as myself. And I'm glad and I was very thrilled to have the opportunity to do it right here in Texas Stadium where God can look down on us this day.
I don't think you have to worry about getting up in the Ring of Honor, but we can't make it happen right now. But what we can make happen right now is this right here. Following is a special presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.
Bob Costas with Chris Collinsworth. We've donned our sportscasting costumes to wish you a happy Halloween.
And coming up, were we tricked into thinking the Raiders and Pats are contenders? And we'll preview a Sunday treat as Bledsoe and the Buffalo Bills host his former team, the Patriots.
You get the theme here. The Bears are hardly monsters of the Midway these days. The horror show continues in Cincy, and Vic the Quick is so good, well, it's downright scary.